Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmie. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another wild, crazy, death-defying edition of Crime and Sports.
Hello.
Oh, hello. We're excited. We're going to be visiting a sport that we haven't been to in a while. Been to, like it's a location.
We haven't played it.
Come out, right? We haven't talked about this sport in a long while, so that'll be fun. Definitely a brain damage sport, and just kind of an asshole. Just a good, asshole or idiot that will play. Is he more of an asshole, more of an idiot? Asshole.
All right.
99th percentile of just kind of an asshole. And it's rarely do we come across people where everyone that meets them are like, yeah, that guy's kind of an asshole. Usually it's like half and half maybe or something, but this is just like, oh yeah, no, he's a huge asshole. Absolutely. That goes without saying.
Okay.
But we will get to that. Before we get to that, first of all, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, and especially the people who bought the virtual live show, the prisoner dating game that we did last week.
Unbelievable.
Thank you guys so much for that. That was so fun for us, and we hope you enjoyed it as well.
Response to it was insane. Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting that. We really, really appreciate that, and we are going to do more stuff virtually because people seem to enjoy it, and we will get everything ironed out, all the technical stuff. Now we have a dry run that we've done. Got a blueprint, and we can make it better and wonderful from there. So thank you guys so much. We'll keep everybody updated on any new virtual live shows that we have. And thank you for your reviews this week. Apple Podcasts, those purple icon reviews help us a lot. We have no idea why, but they help drive you up the charts. So if you have not done that, please get on that. Give us 5 stars and say whatever the hell you want. It's your review. Say what you want, but the 5 stars are important. Thank you for doing that.
Speaking of that, because we're coming up on 200 episodes of Small Town Murder, Emily went and logged everything that you've ever said at the beginning of this for what to say in the review. Do you want them? We'll read them another time, but they're fantastic.
It's a lot of dumb stuff.
Did a great job.
That's amazing, by the way. I love a good...
It's hilarious.
You know me, I love a good compiling, so that's terrific. I appreciate that.
It's very funny to see the evolution of which direction you go versus then you come back and then you start saying the same thing that we said at the beginning, then you go to a different area. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun little roadmap.
I can't wait to see that.
It's a fun little journey through your psychosis.
That is hilarious. Of my half asleep crime and sports psychosis. That is going to be fun. I can't wait to hear that or see that. So, yes, do that. Get on there. Also go to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything crime and sports and small town murder. Listen to Small Town Murder if you haven't, because holy shit, it's hilarious, and you're missing out if you're not listening to it. Also, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie, where we make fun of bad romantic comedies and other shit too, just other bad movies. So we'll do that. Also, if you want to become a bonus Patreon person, you can do that as well. Tons of bonus stuff available for you, and more coming. We'll have a lot of good stuff bonus wise. The bonus episodes you can't miss.
They're a different animal too.
They're a different animal. They're funny. We'll tell you that much right now. Last week we did the plane ride from hell, which was the WWE plane ride where people were fired and lawsuits occurred from it, and alcohol and Ric Flair with his dick out. It's a lot of stuff going on. In Small Town Murder last week, we did haunted places in America, little haunted small towns and haunted houses and shit like that. It was a lot of fun. And you'll get access to all of that at patreon.com/crimeinsports if you're above the $5 level. And Jimmie will mispronounce your name no matter what you donate on there. He'll definitely do that. Screw it up terribly at the end of the show. We talk about our producers. And in addition to that, if you want to just make a one-time donation, have Jimmie mess up your name, you can do that as well over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Thank you to everyone that does that, by the way. We really do appreciate everything that you do. That said, let's appreciate somebody else. Mm-hmm. Let's appreciate an asshole. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Let's get into this. And a foreign asshole, which is good. We always, we love foreign. Yeah. We love the foreign episodes. It takes place in America mostly, but the foreigners are always fun.
Yeah.
And we like doing the other country episodes and everything. So this, we kind of get the best of both worlds. Right. We get a foreigner in America. So
make fun of everybody.
We get to make fun of Detroit and Czechoslovakia at the same time. How often do you get to make fun of Detroit and Czechoslovakia in the same sentence?
Very rare.
It's rare. Yeah. Only on Crime and Sports, everybody. You're going to get this kind of shit here. Let's do it here. A hockey player into the brain damage. When's the last time we did a hockey player? A year ago?
Maybe. Who
was it? It wasn't Probert.
Couldn't have been. No, somebody close by.
It might have been. No, you know what? It might have been Probert.
Really?
It might have been that long ago.
That long ago?
That we did it. No, it wasn't Probert.
No.
It had to be somebody else. I don't remember.
You know what? I'm just remembering that we talked about the Calgary Flames recently. That's all I remember. That was a bonus.
It was a while ago, though. We have not talked about the hockey player in a long time. And so honestly, there is not a lot of hockey criminals.
Yeah.
Most of the hockey criminals are like, they were totally, everyone's like, what a good guy there. Hey, he's a good guy. And then
he on the ice.
He had he crashed into a tree one time in Nova Scotia,
right.
And that was like, oh, okay. Like a reckless driving or something. And that was it. No real story behind it. Not a lot of, there's not a lot to it.
There's not really a need. Is it Canadians are nice? Is that it?
I don't know if it's Canadian. It's a lot of the guys that do it are very rural. They come up. Yeah. Hockey's almost like a military thing because they start at a very young age, and that's all you have time to do.
It's what kept them out of trouble.
It keeps people out of trouble in general a lot of times, which, a lot of sports do that, but I don't know. Hockey just seems to be I don't know what it is. For a long time, too, it's a booze culture instead of a... Yeah. Which publicly is taken as like a boys will be boys type of shit, whereas
used to be.
Yeah, whereas other sports were more into other drugs, and the public had to, could look down on that. While they could be like, oh, the drinking, that's just being
LB was
fellas.
after Probert, wasn't he?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
that
maybe
may have been our last one.
I don't remember, but it was over 30 episodes ago. I know that much. God. So it's been a while. So it's time for another one. It's Petr Klima.
Oh,
do you know him?
No,
Petr Klima. He was on a bunch of teams. We'll get into it. Peter, Petr.
Oh, wow.
So he just doesn't need that second vowel.
I love it.
It's just, why bother with it?
Yeah.
Pete and then what else? What's it going to sound like?
Right.
It
served its purpose.
Fuck it. We know what you mean.
It's like license plate Peter. That's great.
Efficiency of language is what it is. Thank you, Czechoslovakians. Not bad.
I got time for these fucking E's.
No, what are we doing here? All these extra consonants. And back in the day, behind the Iron Curtain and everything, they couldn't afford extra consonants or extra vowels. You had to wait online for those. There's a bread line. There's a vowel line. We had to decide between milk, cheese, bread, and an extra vowel for young Peter. So we decided
time for the rest of his life that he's going to be writing that E. He could have earned another $1.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So that's what they figured. That he could have toiled more for the state, and it would have been better for him. So Eastern Bloc, little communist Peter. There, who's a bread line and the vowel line. What are you going to do? So that's what it is. He's born December 23rd, 1964, which I would say that was a nice, joyful time, but it was Czechoslovakia in the 60s, so there is no joy.
Even just before Christmas.
Joy is not allowed. Joy, you'll be...
Get back to work.
You'll be told you're a dissident and shot in a field for joy. That's what they say. Without even a last cigarette. There's nothing. He's so Christmas spirit we shooting head. Line up. No Christmas spirit. Joy to my balls. How's that?
Joy to your job.
Joy to my balls. This bullet has come. Let's go. Into the fields.
Unreal.
I'm not saying, I don't know what a Czechoslovakian accent really sounds close. Like, but I assume it's something.
Yeah. It's smoke affected.
It's got smoke. We smoke. We sometimes have pieces of, Chinese carpet sample in cigarette. That's okay. Make a little raspy, but I feel make you more masculine. Make you like man.
Right.
This way. Otherwise.
That minimum make you angry.
You pussy man. That's why.
Yeah.
They say, I don't want to smoke Chinese carpet sample been thrown out, the dissident's been shot upon. I say, why? You're some kind of pussy here. Ridiculous. I smoke 3-pack a day.
God damn it.
Make me man with hard penis. So he's
the anger.
December 23rd, 64, in Chomutov, Czechoslovakia. Chomutov is where he was born. So, yeah,
sounds lovely.
This place sounds bleak, man. And this is a bleak time.
Sounds cold.
It is. It's cold. It's bleak. It's gray. I see, like smoke coming from factories, but all the houses have it too.
Right.
Like they're making things in there. I don't know. They have kilns going at all times. It's Czechoslovakia. If you don't, people now go, what the fuck is Czechoslovakia? If we have young people listening, there hasn't been a Czechoslovakia since they were born.
Right.
So they might not know what the hell that is. They're like, you mean the Czech Republic? No, I don't. I mean goddamn Czechoslovakia. It existed. It was a sovereign state that existed from October 1918.
Bunch of people getting pulled over and screaming things, huh?
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's it. It's I'm a sovereign state. God damn it.
Czechoslovakian.
I don't go for them Central European laws. I wasn't driving in my car. I was traveling in my vehicle. That's what I do. I travel in my vehicle.
You do not have jurisdiction over me.
Oh, my God. So we've gotten into that before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's, whoa.
It's so annoying. I hate those people.
That's
so
one
much.
where when you see that, you want to stop with the cop and go, allow me, and pull him out of the car, beat the living shit out of him, and go, proceed. Sorry.
At least it wasn't you, officer.
Yeah, because I don't want police fucking brutality at all. So listen, I get that you have to deal with this person, and normally I'd say, you know what, fucker, that's your job.
Yeah.
Deal with pain in the ass people. But this particular kind of asshole,
That guy
I don't
sucks.
feel like that's in anybody's job description to have to deal with this fucking guy in a non-violent manner.
Do that non-threatening.
Zero tolerance for that.
Non-lethal. Fuck that guy.
I was driving in my I was traveling in my shit. Jesus Christ. That should shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That should be it. Shut up, you. So it existed from 1918 when it declared its independence from the Austro-Hungarian Empire, as we all have at some point.
Yeah.
Every young person, every young man, every young lady at some point must declare your independence from the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
During a pandemic, they are sovereign.
There. It's right after the war. That's why they were like, hey, we're sovereign, motherfucker, once that all kind of broke up. And then it's until its peaceful dissolution into the Czech Republic and Slovakia. They just split the name in half, basically, in January of 1993. So that was after the whole Eastern Bloc fell and the whole Russia fell and all that kind of shit. So
ugly times.
It was ugly times here. So that lasted to there. Now that's who they are. So when Peter grows up, it is 100% Soviet controlled, communist Eastern Bloc Czechoslovakia.
Good Lord.
So not a fun time to grow up. This is not great here. Started playing hockey when he was 4. I don't know if he was assigned to play hockey by the state or what.
That's all you got.
He looks like he's sturdy on skate. Sturdy ankle, boy. Stand there, hit puck. He's got sturdy ankle.
Go get a crooked branch.
They sit there, look at the ankle on that boy.
Yeah.
Like Vince McMahon looks at fucking vascularity. The same thing. He's so vascular. I like his ankle. His ankle very, very nice, yes. Picture them hanging out together. That's the team right there. The perverted Czechoslovakian state hockey coach.
Judging 4-year-olds.
And Vince McMahon going over there. I just thought I'd take a look.
Looks great.
Look at that kid. They're pretty, even for their age, they're very vascular. I'm enjoying this. This is very good.
4-year-old.
The ankles and all children in here, very nice. I tell you what. Would you like carpet Chinese dissident cigarette? I have a Chinese carpet sample dissident bone. It's good.
It's for you, kid.
Make you talk like man, like me. So, his father, Joseph, managed an ice rink and also played left wing and center on the Czech national team.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, he comes from hockey stock.
Yeah.
So, this guy's going to make his kid play hockey. And especially if he's managing a rink at the time.
He's got the ability.
He's got ice time.
Right.
That's the expensive part of hockey. Sure. The equipment's expensive, but the ice time is even more expensive.
That's valuable.
That's valuable. So he did that, and he grows up in a city called Kadan, Kadan.
Yep.
I don't know. Kadan.
Yeah.
At Kadan, you go there and
it's Caden.
It's about 25,000 people there. Peter says, quote, my father was my teacher, and this is later on when he's in the NHL. Even now, he gives me advice on the phone.
Oh.
So even his father was always like his coach, always. So he comes up playing, over there being a pretty goddamn good player. He's a goal scorer type. He's not doesn't like the physicality.
Really?
As we'll talk about.
A little fast guy?
Yeah, he's fast. He's about 6 foot 190 when he grows up, and he's a scorer. He's an artist. He's a guy who kind of likes to go out on his own and kind of freelance and do some stuff. Yeah, kind of guy the whole team hates because he's not with the program.
Him.
Yeah, so it takes plays off sometimes. Sometimes kind of like early career Randy Moss. He got a bum rap later on because Randy Moss he was a great fucking player and people took a lot of shots at him. But when he first came in, he'd take some plays off if the fucking ball wasn't going to him.
You're running, bro.
He wouldn't act like he didn't really put a lot into the fake, or if he knew the play was going the other way, he'd just kind of half-ass run his route.
Yeah.
That's how Klima would do his thing. And then sometimes he would show these flashes of brilliance that he's got the talent. So you're like, do that all the time.
Every play.
Stupid. Right. And he's just like, I go over here. I don't want to do there. Why?
You're running to the right. Why would I do that?
Okay, I come back on ice, but I still not do what you want. I skate, puck come to me, maybe I score.
I'm a body.
I do. So in 1982, 82, they win the European Junior Championships. They win the silver medal there, and I guess he's on that team. And this is, he's fucking young here. This is 16 years old.
Right.
We're talking about 81, 82. He, Litvinov is the team he plays for in the Czech League. He's 17 years old. Litvinov. I don't know. He plays in 18 games, has 7 goals and 3 assists.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good for a kid there. Then he had 5 games played in the junior championships there in 82, where he had 7 goals and 2 assists.
Okay.
Now, 7 goals in 5 games is pretty fucking good.
Not bad.
That's more than a goal a game. That's exciting. 82, 83, he played for Litvinov again. Litvinov? Yeah, it's Litvinov. I don't know.
Sounds like a center for the Knicks.
He does, yeah. Litvinov. We got him
with the pass.
We got him from Lithuania.
Litvinov for the rebound.
He's a 7'3" Lithuanian who's never played basketball before, and the Knicks drafted him number 3 overall.
I can't name a player for the Knicks now, so that's who he is.
There's a reason for that. And there's a fucking reason for that. So that year, this is when he plays a little more. He's 18, 44 games played, 19 goals, 17 assists. So not bad, almost a point a game, which is pretty impressive there. 82, 83, the Czechoslovakian juniors here, they win the silver medal again. He has 4 goals and 4 assists in 7 games.
He's doing great.
He's a scorer. And over there, too, apparently back then, and I don't know about now, but the game was not the same as it is in North America. Over here, fighting, clenching, all that shit was a huge part of the game in the 80s, to a lesser extent as time goes on. But in the 70s, it was really like that. You could murder people, for fuck's sake. And in the 80s, it was still pretty Wild Westy out there as far as the violence goes. And apparently Eastern Europe, or the European leagues he was playing in, it's not like that.
Really?
It's more set up on speed and plays kind of like European basketball.
Style.
European basketball was, especially now, it's all kind of getting the same because our basketball here is more like Europe now. But in the 90s, European pro basketball and our pro basketball weren't the same sport.
Vastly different.
Yeah. If you watched like the Olympics, you'd see our guys physically just throwing these guys around. They didn't know what the fuck to do because that's not how they play over there. So they weren't used to, Charles Barkley slamming you with his ass before he gets a rebound. Just wasn't a concern that they usually have. Yeah, they're like, Jesus, these guys play fucking rough.
And now I can't walk.
Yeah. Now I'm fucking limping up the court the rest of the time. But that's how it is. We had more of the playground style was in our game a lot, whereas it wasn't like that in Europe.
That's interesting. I have wondered that, why it was legal to just bash the living shit out of somebody's face when that's really not the object of the game. That is pretty wild that that's legal.
In hockey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not, I don't know, an arrestable offense.
We're going to do a bonus episode, actually, on hockey players that have been arrested for in-game incidents.
Really?
There's a shitload of them.
It makes sense.
Tons of them.
I mean, the stick.
Because they have weapons.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah.
Which in baseball, though, I've seen people go after people with a fucking bat.
Yeah.
They don't get arrested. But
that's true.
I guess with the razor blades on your feet and the stick in your hand, it's you got to keep the violence to a stand up, put up your dukes type of thing, or else it's going to be an issue.
They should stop calling that a hockey stick, because if you've ever held one, that shit's dense.
Yeah.
Those are heavy fucking logs.
Well, also, they on the end, they're light, so you can whip them.
Right.
They're dangerous weapons.
It's a blade on the end.
That's why, that's why it's called slashing when you fucking hit somebody with it. There's a reason for that shit, because you're slashing them with a fucking thing that hurts.
It's a blade on the end with, it's a good half inch to an inch thick, right?
Oh, it's taped up, too. No, it's not that thick, but you tape it.
It's pretty fucking thick.
You tape it up. The end of the stick is flexible.
Right.
So it's not that thick because it's got some flex to it.
I'm talking about where you're holding it.
Oh, where you're holding it's kind of good.
That's a good almost inch,
and it's
right?
It's squared off, too. It's not rounded. It's
got a good edge.
It feels really like, wow, I could do some damage with this
fucking
bitch.
Kill somebody with this.
That's what I mean. So over there, this is much more suited to his style than when he comes over here. It takes him a while to adjust to the violence of the game. Yeah. Luckily for him, he's got Bob Probert with him the whole time.
Is that right?
Oh, this is Bob Probert's running mate, everybody. So if you liked Bob Probert, this is his boy. This is his Eastern European boy. So these two hanging out must have been the weirdest thing in the world, because they're very different people, too, as we'll talk about. Yeah, Bob Probert was like a redneck kind of. This guy's not that at all. He's like kind of a weird, like kind of stylish European guy.
Classic.
Yeah, he's the type of guy that would have had like a body length leather duster that he wore. You know,
he's one of the wild and crazy guys.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. He's gonna come over and try to pick up women in a bad way. You know. that old joke. Yeah, I want to be on you. Hello.
I want to make fuck on you.
I want to make fuck in your eye. Yes. I make fuck between your legs. We go now. I have sports car.
Yes.
I have red sport car. I make fuck between leg in condominium. I buy condominium. Very nice. Very comfortable to make fuck between leg. Huh? Okay. Come to sport car.
Get in.
What?
Why are you scared?
I don't understand. So what, you husband right there? I don't care. I say, hello, how are you? I'm very nice to meet you.
I buy him drink.
Hey, come, you stop, drink. I return. I send back in cab. I'm gentleman, no? Come on, make fuck between leg. Let's go. Wow. Okay. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
So 80, he plays there. 83, 84, he's in the Czech juniors again, where they... I don't know what the fuck that means. G-Lava? Mm-hmm. Gihlava?
Oh.
What the fuck does that mean?
G-Lava.
Are they the champions?
Or does
that mean... I don't know what that means.
That was his award for it?
That's like the team's position in the tournament is Gihlava. I don't know. They're jihading the tournament, so that's a problem, I guess. I don't know. He then plays for Dukla Jihlava again. Jihlava. Sorry. Jihlava. I don't know. 41 games, 20 goals, 16 assists. He continues to play he plays in 84, 85 in the Canadian Cup. The Czechoslovakian team comes over to Canada, which is very, very important to note because that's a big deal in his life there in terms of him being able to escape from the Czech Republic.
Really?
Coming over there. Yeah, he was meeting with people while he was over there. Uh-huh. He, from about 83, early 83, there's kind of like there's feelers being sent out. He wants to come to America. Teams want him over here. Yeah. And back then, you basically had to steal a guy because they weren't letting him go. He was in a country where they weren't allowed to fucking leave.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, if a guy wanted to defect, he had to, like, secretly run away. There wasn't, like, he couldn't just go and get on a plane and go over and land in JFK and be like, hey, I'm here now.
I realize
the government put him in jail.
It's a very dumb American thing, but I'm blown away that that's a thing anywhere. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, and if you hear some of, like, the stories of the Cuban baseball players, how the fuck they got here, they had to fucking, I mean, the teams could give them the resources, could send them a few bucks to bribe this guy and do this, but I mean, otherwise, they had to fucking get over here. Had to fucking figure it out. And that's kind of how it was over there. But with Eastern Europe communism, this is Cold War era, so this is a totally different thing. Like, there's, major attorney generals and major government figures getting involved trying to pull strings. And
really?
Oh, it's wild how they could get these guys. Yeah, it's crazy. So the 1983 NHL entry draft here, and we've talked about this draft before for a couple of times, actually. We had Pat LaFontaine go number 3, Yzerman there. Red Wing star went number 4. A lot of Cam Neely's in this draft. A lot of good guys here that we've talked about. The definitely, absolutely not brother of Mario Lemieux, Claude Lemieux,
got it,
is drafted also in this. Did I mention he is not Mario's brother?
I've heard that there's no relation.
No relation at all, as a matter of fact. I'm never been more positive about any fact in my life.
That they are not brothers.
I'm pretty sure when my birthday is.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, but I'm not as sure about that. Nearly as sure as I am that Claude Lemieux
never spent a birthday with
is certainly did not fall from the same vagina as Mario Lemieux. Their mothers probably never met. Never met even.
Entirely different women.
Different women, fathers too. Yeah. Not even the same dad.
Incredible.
Nothing. Different people. Just so everybody knows, in case you were wondering.
But I have heard that Mario's son plays hockey also.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
I've heard things. I've heard things. So.
I'm almost as well versed in the Lemieux family.
I know
as
it's
Mario
so
Lemieux.
well. Maybe that's why we haven't done a hockey episode in so long.
It is hard to get past.
No,
so many tweets
funny
about how they are not brothers.
It's just hilarious. I like that hockey fans are very passionate.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I love a passionate fan base. That's great. But you know who's also really passionate? Rugby fans and cricket fans and soccer fans. Those people kill each other. They fucking
do.
Hockey players. Yeah, you guys go and drink beer and sing songs and shit. They will stab each other and then fucking stampede the fallen herd before them to do what? I don't know.
To get a better look.
They'll take a fucking wall down just with the force. All of us can take the wall down and then push it over onto another 100,000 people. It's insanity.
Just to see.
And when we fuck up anything with that, they think it's hilarious and they love it and they don't give two fucks because they know that's not what the episode about. But God forbid if you say that Claude and Mario Lemieux may, not that they are, they may possibly be related, possibly.
Based on the fact that they have two men named the same last name that I've never heard of anybody being named anywhere else.
That both play hockey really good. So
it would be crazy if they were related. James.
Yeah. It just feels like I found later on that there's the Brent Gretzky is Wayne's brother. I fucking made sure. I'm like, it might be Wayne's brother, but maybe not. I looked it up. I looked up like 3 different sources, and I'm like, okay, it's Wayne's brother. I wanted like childhood pictures at birthday parties together with their arms around each other before I fucking
looking up his fucking phone number.
Before I would say,
are you his brother or not?
Yes.
I got a podcast.
What'd you do? God damn it. Who fucked your mother? Who? So we love the hockey fans' passion, and we dig that a lot because they do. It's an insular sport. Any of those sports that are kind of that are smaller, and I'm not saying that it's a tiny thing, but it's not the NFL.
Right.
You don't have people doing hockey pools at work.
Right.
It's just not that sort of thing.
Good point.
Weekly
you don't have anybody
pools.
picking this. You don't have anybody paying
in the United States
exorbitant amounts of money for the Stanley Cup commercial.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not in the U.S. anyway. In Canada, might be a different thing, but not here. So. That's the way it is. But anyway, finally in the 5th round, Joey Coker's picked also in the 5th round, who's a brawler like a motherfucker. Yeah, he's the guy who got arrested for some on-ice incidents. I was at a Ranger game one time, and he got I want to say 3 fights before he finally got thrown out. Really? And I was like, I love this guy. This is fantastic when I was a kid. But number 86 overall in the 5th round, the Detroit Red Wings pick Petr Klima here. So... he's over there. It's 83. He's still over there. He plays in like the juniors and everything. So they have no way of getting him. They just pick him so they have the rights to him.
Who was it that got him?
Detroit, the Red Wings. Yeah. So, it's one of those deals. So now they have to figure out how the fuck to get him out of there. Mm-hmm. How do they get him out? And this is a pretty... you just don't hear stories about this. This sounds like some shit from like an 80s like spy movie, how they got him out of here. First of all, a little bit on his background. He's known as an asshole over there.
Really?
Yeah. Like, they call him, he's like a rebel, and he's this and he's that, and he's a rule breaker and all this shit. But this is all like off the ice. He's just a dick. Everybody thinks he's a dick. He's a real prima donna. But in America, and we'll get a quote on this, but in America, they looked at that as, oh, good. He's not just a communist, do what you say.
Right.
He's an American.
Yeah.
You say he's an asshole, eh?
You're hired.
I know where it would be perfect for him. America.
Yeah.
Where he'll fit in with all the other assholes.
You're telling me he's got a certain level of arrogance?
He's going to thrive here.
We'd love to talk to him.
He's going to thrive here. Let me tell you something. He is going to thrive.
Yeah.
So, he was like that. The last thing he did, we'll talk about it at the end of this big harrowing ordeal. Right at the end of it, he goes, I think I want more money, by the way. Let's talk. Let's revisit it's like this crazy escape from Alcatraz fucking thing. And then he's like, I might not go still.
Right.
I did all of that, but I need a couple more bucks. Like, so this is the kind of dick he is.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and they gave it to him too, because the lengths went to getting him out. They weren't going to go, no, go back through the woods and traipse back to your hotel.
Here.
That's what I mean. So yeah, he was 20 years old. Apparently the team officials over in Czechoslovakia knew that the Detroit Red Wings drafted him. So if they wasted a draft pick on him, they apparently have some plans of trying to. Yeah. That's basically putting them on notice that they're going to try to steal him now. So all that does is make them lock guys like that down more. Makes them now, if they go overseas, if they go out of the country for any tournaments, they have like minders on them to make sure they don't make a run for it.
You just showed us your cards.
Yeah, that's what it was. But the NHL has to do that, so they have rights. Otherwise, you can't spend millions of dollars to get somebody out and don't have the rights to him, and some other team gets to have him.
Unbelievable is that?
It's a fucked up system. It's a crazy system.
Any system.
Yeah.
All of the drafts like that, we draft that guy, and now we have all the rights to him.
The rights to tell him what to do and where to go.
Yeah.
It sounds normal too. Like people are like, yeah, well, I mean, you're lucky to be there and all that, but no. If you go to law school,
right?
Let's say you go to Harvard Law School,
yeah,
and then you're the top of your class and you pass the bar and all this shit. You don't have to go to Cleveland.
No,
you don't have to. You can go anywhere the fuck you want.
You don't have to do anything, really.
If someone said that guy should have to live in Cleveland, or that guy should have to go to Jacksonville for this, you'd be like, why?
Yeah.
He fucking worked his balls off to have he or she or whoever to have the fucking choice to go where the hell they want to.
Really? He doesn't even have to be a lawyer.
That's what I mean. He can go do anything. Go open a hot dog stand if he wants to. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a silly.
It's wild.
The draft system is very weird.
It's fascinating, that's for sure.
I don't know how else you would do it, honestly.
But you do have to declare for it as well. Where you
NHL draft, they can just draft you.
You just pick people?
Well, yeah, because you can do that anywhere. Awesome. You don't have to declare for shit.
Really?
Baseball, they pick people that haven't declared.
Wow.
Yeah, they pick, like, you'll see guys get drafted out of high school all the time in baseball where they know they're going to college.
Yeah.
The guys didn't declare for a draft. They just draft them and they go,
anyway.
Yeah, we'll see if we offer him $200,000. Maybe he'll decide not to go to college. And it works a lot.
What a weird fucking business.
Mm-hmm. Strange, right? Hockey's really weird.
Unreal.
Hockey, they grab the kids at 16 sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really young. So anyway, there's all these rumors around here that the Red Wings started off by trying to pay off Czech authorities. Okay. Basically, they were like, all right, well, maybe we can grease the wheels a little bit, and maybe these guys are corrupt, and we can just pay them off, But that was a little bit difficult. And the Czechoslovakian, the authorities kind of clamped him down for a minute, and then when the draft happened and there was all these rumors, and then after a minute they just kind of
let him go.
I don't know, they just kind of didn't have the same level of vigilance with it. They were just like, that's over, he's fine, I guess. I don't know what.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
They were thinking, so they let their guard down a little bit, and he ends up secretly agreeing to a $2.5 million 10-year contract to play for Detroit.
That's cheap and great for them.
Well, for the 80s, that's great money, though. Yeah. For the hockey players didn't make $1 million a year in the 80s at all.
$250 a year at best.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's escalating, sure. But still, the first 5 years are guaranteed, and it's an option for the second 5 years. But still, $2.5 million if you live in communist Czechoslovakia.
Right.
Is
where are you going to make $2.5 million in 10 years?
Never, ever, ever, never.
In Czechoslovakia. Unless
never.
You're king.
That's what I mean. You'd have to be like, some corrupt communist official to make that kind of money. So this was over in 1984 when he was there for the Canada Cup. Mm-hmm. They snuck and had a conversation with him and had him agree in principle and, whatever, sign an intent letter or some shit for that contract. So I find that's pretty interesting when they came over there. Under
the dead of night.
That was during a tournament, so it was fine. But then in 1985, this is when shit starts to happen. His friend, Peter Svoboda, Ron Svoboda's a baseball player. That's why it fucked me up. Peter Svoboda is his name here. Svoboda.
So the same Peter?
Peter, yeah, same thing.
Same way?
Same way. No
awesome.
E. Another one, just don't need it. No time. I ain't got no time for vowels.
Unreal.
He defected from the Czech Republic, from Czechoslovakia earlier, and was playing for the Montreal Canadiens. So they knew each other from over there, and so that was kind of the blueprint of how to do it. And Klima says that, quote, we both wanted to defect at the same time, but we couldn't because I was in the Army. He said I would never go AWOL.
He was part of their fucking armed
services?
He
was in the Army. Yeah, you had to be.
That's awesome.
He was still in the Army. So he was playing on all these teams, and he's in the Army, and he said he wouldn't go AWOL from the Army. That was a bridge too far for him to do.
Well, there's punishment in that, too, I think.
Oh, there's punishment for leaving anyway.
But over there, I imagine the punishment for leaving when you're enlisted
it's probably
a little more a little more steep.
Well, I know for a fact that once he left, if he went back, if they got a hold of him, he was going right to prison. There was no anything else. He's going to prison for escaping.
Jesus.
But I don't know, if you ditch out on the Army, that might be desertion. They might shoot you.
Yeah, that might be a death penalty.
That's what I mean. So, but either way, I think you're banking on not going back at that point. So I would think it's in for a penny. That might have just been he was in the Army with a bunch of guys, and you kind of all make a commitment together to not skip out on it. Maybe that one might have been more about the people. But with the way he is, I don't feel like that's the way it is, because he's kind of a loner.
Really?
Yeah, he's not really one doesn't have a real big communal spirit, which is strange for a communist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he should be very communal.
just by definition alone.
Right.
So the Red Wings couldn't get him here because he had these 2 years of military service, and he said he could be shot as a traitor if he went AWOL, and that was the only risk, was if you try to escape and get caught, it's one thing, you'll go to prison, but then you can try to escape again. But if you try to run away from the Army, then they'll just shoot you, and then you can't escape again. So he said that also, quote, this is from a team official, he was afraid that something would happen to his family if he left the Army.
I thought about that too.
Yeah, reprisals on his family, which, he's a high-profile figure. That would be embarrassing to the government. So they might end up taking it out, put his fucking dad in prison or something. Who knows? So they won't. No one ever knows what he did in the Army. He says it's a military secret, and all of his documents are classified. So we have no idea what he was doing in the Army either.
Sounds like just playing hockey anyway.
No clue. Yeah, I don't know if that was just some weird smoky Iron Curtain thing or what. But he then one of This is the team official for the Red Wings saying that it's a good thing he's an asshole. He says, quote, "I had heard there that he was a bad kid, that he was always in trouble with the team. I was happy to hear that because I figured he wasn't a good communist. He's like a typical American or Canadian kid, fun-loving and happy-go-lucky. But the communists like their players to all look sad all the time."
Okay.
True, but no, he's not a happy-go-lucky. No, he's just an arrogant...
Just a dick.
He's typical, like, if you picture 80s movies Eurotrash, like somebody's like, just overly, I am wonderful and I am, that's who he is. Like, that's it. Arrogant. He's just an arrogant asshole. Like, yeah, I feel like if you're a good athlete over there, you're probably treated a little bit different.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Because you're treated different here, but over there, everybody's,
smaller population.
Less
gifted in that.
And there's only a few things that you would be boosted to any sort of recognition for there. So,
and when it comes to hockey, and he's representing the country, and he's doing well at it, he's probably pampered pretty well.
That's what I mean. So I feel like he thinks he's better than a lot of people. And his scorers just a lot of times feel like they have a reputation, scorers in hockey.
I mean, you can have all the defense in the world, but if you don't put 1 point on the board,
you got to get a goal in the net.
Lose.
So, yeah. So apparently they met, with him at the Canada Cup in September 1984. It was in London, Canada. And they also met in Buffalo before signing him to the secret contract there. And they said that the 2.5 million, 10 years there, the team official said, quote, "It's an average contract in the National Hockey League, but it's just a little bit longer than most. He's well taken care of. You have to remember that he can never go back home again." Right. So that makes sense. If you're going there, you can't be like, "Hey, you can't cut me next year. I have nowhere to fucking go at that point.
And you got to give me money that's like forever money."
Yeah, otherwise I can't go back there. I'm going to get fucking killed if I go back there. So... yeah, so they said, 5-year deal with the option, and he said, this is fucking funny, "I came here to play hockey, not to get money. Money wasn't the reason I came. Hockey is something that I like doing. It's fun." Keep that in mind. He said the team official said he assured him that he wanted to come. It apparently cost the Red Wings about $250,000 in logistics to get him the fuck out of there, basically, just in terms of a bribe here, a thing here, just to set the whole thing up. So apparently they had a guy on the inside, a Czechoslovakian contact, and the team got a phone call from this guy on Wednesday, August 14th, 1985, telling him that Klima was ready to defect. They're like, all right, he's ready to go. Like, are you guys ready to grab him? So, they were, the Czech team was training in Rosenheim, West Germany, which was, non-communist, obviously. That was in the Western world, which is so strange. That was 30 years ago, which is a long time, but not that long ago, where Germany was two fucking places that were very different.
I was alive. It's weird.
I remember watching that shit.
Watching that wall come down.
I'm like, whoa, that's weird.
What the fuck why is that so symbolic?
If as kids, for us, it's not like it wasn't a big deal. It was like, they're taking a wall down. But I guess if you were around for a long time, since World War II, it was probably
those bricks mean something to you.
Yeah. I mean, I knew what it meant symbolically, but it wasn't like, it didn't affect my life. So as a...
an arrogant American,
a 10-year-old kid, you're not like, oh, I see the global, impact of the, you're like, all right, that's cool. Why's Knight Rider singing? What's happening?
I'm American. I don't get this.
We don't have this. So he was there, and they'd be staying at a small hotel, the team would, near the town of Nussdorf. Okay. So a little hotel there. And apparently the officials for the Red Wings got on a plane and flew to West Germany right away. And they had their first meeting was in the woods behind the hotel.
Awesome.
Yes, this is
so grimy,
clandestine as shit. He had to sneak out of the window of his room and sneak into the woods.
Like he's trying to get a blowy.
Yeah, to meet high-level professional sports team officials, probably wearing suits and ties, traipsing around in the woods, praying that they don't get deer ticks.
Didn't meet a Twitter hooker. This is real deal life.
Yeah. This isn't rest stop blowjobs. Right. This is something completely different. So they're in the woods on Friday night, August 16th. So they got the call on the 14th. By the 16th, they're in Germany in the woods. meeting with this guy. That's how bad they wanted him. That night here, he was supposed to go into his hotel room where they were training and everything. So anyway, the Detroit officials, once they're over there, they're talking. It's so funny that they're in the woods. So they end up having another meeting with him the next night where Klima is instructed to sneak out of his hotel room and take a car provided that was going to be in the parking lot for him, to hop in the car. And the car takes him to another location where he has to walk about a half mile to the car where they're going to talk to him. Yeah. There's all these different, in case they're followed.
So weird.
It's fucking crazy. This is wild shit. So he comes out of the woods, and the team official for the Red Wings says, quote, "We didn't know what was going to come out of those woods. I think that deep down, none of us really thought we were going to be able to pull this off." They're sitting out there like waiting, like, I guess our hockey player is going to come out of the woods now, emerge from the woods. Like, what a weird.
Show up like Casey Jones with like a fucking mask and everything.
It's so fucking strange.
It's just gonna be a dude walking in the woods going, "I'm Clemmer. You guys looking for me?"
Yeah, nicely dressed guy, just like, "Hey, how you doing?"
"Hey, I'm Peter without an E."
"Hey, Pete, how you doing?"
"Peter, 1E."
Yeah, we're all overdressed, hanging out in the woods. Peter, 1E.
"Hope you guys are looking for me. I'm Peter with 1E."
1E, no I, or O,
just
or
Peter.
A, or just an E, but 1. Now you find out where it goes. Think about it.
That's a great one.
You find out. Yeah.
I'll send you there staring upwards for a minute.
Yeah. Is it? Okay.
Is it second?
It really wouldn't matter either way because both ways it kind of works.
It's Peter.
How about just PTR?
We could just skip all the E's.
Peter.
Fuck E's.
If you saw a guy's name was PTR, you'd go, Peter. Wouldn't you? You wouldn't go, your name's Petr. You'd go, hey, you're Peter. Right?
That's Peter.
That's how you'd put it together. Everybody. If you're any pregnant or going to be expecting soon, people trying to have children that are listening to this right now, name your kid PTR. Just tell everyone it's Peter.
This is Peter. And if you have an uncle, any random Peter in your life, you're now named PTR.
Yeah,
that's
true. And
honest Christmas gift.
If you do that and prove it with a birth certificate, you get 2 free tickets to a live show of your choice. Any live show you want. Just ruin your child's life. And you can save $40
forever.
So there you go.
That offers forever.
Yeah.
One show, but forever.
You
pick it. Any show.
Any show till the end of time. You can come to. You pop up with that 5 years from now. We'll honor it.
You betcha.
They named it PTR. I'm sorry. We got to do it. So the team officials wanted to leave with Peter right then. But Klima had another sticking point. He asked if the Red Wings could get his girlfriend out. Too. He's like, I got this girlfriend, and, I kind of need her to come, too. I'm not leaving her over here.
Peter.
So he's like, if I go, she's got to go.
Peter.
God damn it.
What are you doing, man?
They're like, fuck. Okay. So they said there's, it's going to be difficult to do this. Because she was back in Czechoslovakia, and they were like, how the fuck do we do that? So they're like, you're not going to be able to leave at the same time. Mm-hmm. We'll work on one and work on the other, and we'll figure it out. So apparently they had to meet again, and the team official said, we had a prearranged meeting place, but it was a little scary. He wanted to go over his contract again. This was the time where everything's set and everything's ready to go, and okay, you're going to get in a car and pop out of the woods, and he's like, but before we go,
a friend of mine told me somebody else made this much.
I would like to discuss. Yeah.
How important am I to you?
That's what I mean. I know you.
The fuck, Peter?
Someone told him, somebody told him, hey, look, they're in for this much. If
they're gotten way more.
If they're waiting for you in the middle of the night outside the woods in West Germany, they want you fucking bad.
Yeah.
You can get whatever you want, dude. They're not going to waste all this money they've already put into this.
He made guys in fucking Cole Haan shoes stand in the dirt.
There's there's Czechoslovakian officials that will be killed if what they've done comes to light over this. Like, you're going.
You could have gotten 3.
Yeah, probably. So then they said, once they got that settled, the team official here said the decision to leave took 5 minutes. He just looked at us and decided to go. They said he didn't have much with him, just a T-shirt and the jeans he was wearing. He went back to the hotel and grabbed some stuff. It was the longest 5 minutes of my life. Because they had to wait for him to go back to the hotel and hope he didn't get caught.
Right.
Because he had to sneak back in and sneak back out with his shit. So if anybody saw him leaving with his shit, he's busted.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, he's done. He could say, I'm going out for a walk around the building otherwise, but not if you're carrying a duffel bag.
Right.
You're done. So they said that they had one of the team officials at the wheel, and they had a rented Mercedes. He hopped in the back with all his shit, and they took off doing 120 miles an hour on the Autobahn.
Wow.
That's fucking,
That's so cool.
Middle of the night.
Yeah.
Escape with a
blazing
communist defector with just a bag full of hockey gear running away from his life. Asking to have his lovely Czech girlfriend brought to the U.S. as well.
Very smart to use you get a place that logistically you get to take the Autobahn.
Yeah,
that's so rad.
Take a Mercedes and go $120 on the Autobahn.
Sick.
That sounds fun. I want a Mercedes on the Autobahn.
Yeah.
I want both of those things. That sounds like a good time. They said, quote, "We wanted to put a lot of distance between us and the team. We figured that they would be looking for him after the 11 o'clock bed check."
Yeah.
So they had to do all this.
Tonight.
Yeah, they had to do it all before bed check because then they would know he was missing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they didn't wait till after bed check.
That's a smart idea.
I think by then they would have noticed if he left. He could come and go out of the hotel just to walk around before bed check.
Yeah.
You're allowed to leave.
Depends on how much money they have. Does he have his own room? You know
It doesn't
what I mean?
matter. After bed check, though, if you're seen leaving,
then you're fucked.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
So then they'll actually watch you to make sure you're not leaving after. But beforehand, you can go walk around, I think. And they're not gonna let you go to the soda machine in the lobby, I assume, if you want to.
Maybe.
You just can't.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We get for you.
Yeah.
No.
Get back in the room.
No, only orange soda. That's the only thing you can have. Why? Because you don't want orange. That's why you get orange.
Or a root beer.
What flavor do you want? Exactly. That's why you get orange. If you wanted 7-Up, if you want orange, I give you 7-Up. But you don't. You want 7-Up, you get orange.
Nobody's choice is orange unless there aren't any others.
And that's why you get orange.
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Because there's no
for you.
caffeine in orange.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why.
You go to sleep.
No caffeine. Ha. So they do that. Later on, by the way, a week later, that once they get him out, he loves fast cars, as we'll get into.
Really?
It's really some foreshadowing here. A week after this, he wrecks a sports car when he takes it out. No license.
Wow.
Destroys a car as soon as he gets here.
Unbelievable.
Wrecks a car without a license. So
Test drive or like he owns it?
No, he bought a car or had somebody's car and just fucking went out and crashed it.
Wow.
Just got here, didn't have a license, obviously. Didn't even fucking speak English at all. Just fill out a thing, or I don't know if they had it in Czech in 1985 or what. But he had no license, so obviously he's basically, he's in trouble a week into the country. He's already has like a driving without a license, reckless driving, all that shit on his record.
Sure.
So that's nice.
He's going to make fuck.
He's going to make fuck between legs.
Have to get car first.
You have to go fast to condominium. Otherwise, maybe she changed mind. Maybe husband catch up with car. That's why you drive very fast. He's behind you. Go, hey, bring wife back to me. Like, oh, Say what?
Heartbroken.
My heart broken. The kids are at home. They're gonna cry. Where's mom? Yeah.
I bring her back.
I bring to you. I make fuck, and I bring to you. Why? I send back. I don't want keep.
I don't want.
I don't want to keep.
Just a minute.
I send back. Sign Nicholas. So, he does that. And the team official that got him over here said, quote, "Peter just laughed when he said he had the car had been wrecked. But the lady at Hertz didn't think it was very funny."
Oh, it was a rental.
He had a fucking rental car.
Oh, my God.
That he destroyed. And they also said, quote, "Thank God it was a Mercedes because it's built like a tank." So he wasn't hurt.
Right.
Otherwise, he just rented a Mercedes and crashed the fuck out of it.
Unbelievable.
That was it. He laughed later on, reminded about it years ago. Petr Klima said, quote, "It was a big car and I wasn't used to driving big cars." So, he had the little tiny.
That's the one you get for sure.
You got like the 2-cylinder 42 horsepower, some Eastern Bloc piece of shit lawnmower.
It's got 5 seats. Nobody can fit in those other 3.
That's what I mean, with little tiny bubble car. And then they go, "Here's a Mercedes. Here's a V12 Mercedes. Enjoy." Like, holy shit, he's definitely going to crash that shit.
That's a lot of car.
That's way too much car. If you're used to driving a dune buggy, that's going to be a little too much for you. So, for 5 weeks, they had to hide him in different hotels in West Germany. So they would just move him all the time, so nobody, in case anybody saw him or got back, because he could still be like kidnapped by the Czechoslovakians and taken back. So they had to do all this before they could arrange his immigration with the United States. Even the NHL, it took more than a day to arrange immigration. So, from Nussdorf, they went to Stuttgart, to Koblenz, and to Frankfurt. And they waited a week in Frankfurt before going to the U.S. Embassy because they were afraid that the Czech officials were watching it and they were going to accost him on the way. Literally, they were worried about going from the car to the front door. So they thought he'd be snatched and taken in some fucking black van somewhere and taken back to Czechoslovakia.
He's not holding secrets to like nuclear fission. He plays hockey.
That's what I mean.
Jeez.
Well, let him go. But it's an embarrassment to them when somebody runs away because why would they want to run away? It's supposed to be paradise. That's the point.
$2.5 million collectively amongst this country.
But for them, they're saying you shouldn't want $2.5 million because this is more than you should want.
Right.
You should play hockey for the love of the, of dressing in burlap. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
There's extremes.
What's a dollar figure on country and family pride?
I'm all for, everybody having something, but at some point it's like, bread lines are another issue.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So, this is like hardcore communism, literally Russia. Yeah. This is a different story here than, normal stuff. So they hit him out and all this time. And finally they said that they were, they never feared they were in, like the officials said, we were never in physical danger, but we felt like they were going to snatch him up and try to pressure him basically. And the Petr Klima, the team official says a lot of red tape was cut by my boss, Mr. Illich, that's the Red Wings owner, who had contacts in Washington in the Reagan administration. They said that apparently an attorney who's married to the owner's daughter serves as general counsel for the hockey team, was connected with the White House, so it's all...
That'll help.
Everybody's finger-fucking each other there. So he was... Apparently they granted him humanitarian purposes visa. It's like, because he was in a communist country. And the team official said if he hadn't been a major hockey player, we probably wouldn't have gotten him out. No shit.
Right.
I'm sure there was a lot of other people there would have loved to fucking follow. Apparently her girlfriend was a different story his girlfriend, Peter's girlfriend. They had to hire basically professional kidnappers to get her out of the country.
Really?
She was in West Germany, it was easier to snatch him. Mm-hmm. In the Czech Republic, in Czechoslovakia, it's different. Yeah. You're in the fucking, you're right there, so they can get you at any time. You have to sneak past the border at that point. So they had to hire like coyotes, basically.
Incredible.
But these are like a professional team of international kidnappers to voluntarily kidnap her.
That's what we do.
Yeah, she wanted to go, but it's a voluntary kidnapping to get past all that shit. The team official here says, quote, I can't go into any details, but it was very expensive. He hadn't made any arrangements for her. He had just said we would send for her. So that was that. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So they had to sneak her out. After they get her out, they met her in Vienna to confirm that she was the right woman.
Oh, that would have been a bitch.
If they kidnapped the wrong woman.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So they had to be like, you're his girlfriend, right? No, why am I here? Oh, my God. These men they took me and said, you know why you're doing this. I don't know what's happening. Please, I have children.
Who is this old woman?
My mother's very sick. She needs her medication. Please take me home.
You guys just snatched the oldest woman in town? Who is she? What are we supposed to give that girl to Peter?
She's she's like 12. She's like, I have to be at school in the morning. And they're like, I don't think this is the right girl. You haven't been fucking Petr Klima, have you? Please tell me you haven't been fucking. If this is true, we got to send him back.
Yeah, he's got to go home.
Yeah, we can't have this. This is going to be bad. So they said, the team guy said, quote, you're damn right it was scary. I didn't know who I was dealing with. Peter had given me birthmarks to check for.
Stop it.
Yeah, because they don't know. Anybody could say they're her. So, and they don't have any other, they couldn't FaceTime. It's 1985.
Hey, Samantha, depends. Are you getting Samantha the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
Then that's me.
Yeah, Peter, is this her? Yes, okay. You couldn't do that with a phone. You could do that very easily now.
Yeah.
Point. This the one?
Right.
Yeah, all right. That's cool. See you later. Click. Done.
Here we go.
We're on our way. But no, so Peter had given me birthmarks to check for, but after I saw the
Drop
way...
your pants, girl!
Yeah. Now, not for nothing, Peter said on your left... How do I put this? How do I be delicate?
Yeah.
On the left side of your snatch. That's delicate, right? All right, sweetheart.
Hey, there's a nice mark there that tells me who you are.
It's going to be a nice shape of a strawberry. Now, take the pants off and let's take a look, sweetheart.
Hike that skirt off.
Let's go. So, Jesus Christ.
He says you've got a little bit of a hemorrhoid on the left side.
I'll take a look. I don't know. Let's take a peek. Hold on. Let me get my magnifying glass. I really want to get in there. So he had birthmarks to check for.
Unbelievable.
He said, but after I saw the way she reacted when I showed her his picture, I didn't have to look at them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, she knew it was the right one. They didn't want to say how. They won't say exactly who they hired or how they got her out. Apparently it was, this is an older article, and apparently this was like, these people could still face reprisals for what happened and shit like that. So they said that they kept her in a Western European country while they were waiting and all that sort of shit. So he has to leave behind, though, his parents, his older brother and sister. Yeah. All these people are still stuck there, talks to him on the phone and all that sort of shit, but he knows he's not going to be able to see them for years.
Ever again.
But yeah. Who knows? He chose to wear 85, the number 85.
Why?
Which is a high number. It's funny because every article about him says that's because that's when he came to America and he loves America so much that he wore 85. He says, quote, the papers wrote that I chose number 85 because I was liberated in 1985.
I'm going to be honest. It was just my favorite year of the Camaro.
You know what? It's the highest number. It's the most number of women I ever banged in a month. I'm not going to lie. That's what it is. One month I got 85. Yeah. It was pretty good. I was doing 2 a night for a while, and in a couple nights I had a few parties. I'm not going to lie.
Felt like a good number.
It's a good number. And he said, that's not true. I am glad to be in America, but I chose number 85 because it is the year when I chose to leave Czechoslovakia. When I left everything behind. I did what I did for hockey. Nobody else in the world would do it. Mm-hmm. What?
I think everybody would if they had your talent.
Tons of those people came. Yeah,
absolutely.
That was a huge normal. People ran from Russia to. Yeah, happened all the time.
He's just the best in the world at escaping, and he wants to document.
But that's to him. He's like, nobody would do what I did. That's how he is. Nobody would do that normal thing. I had a ham sandwich for lunch. Nobody would do that.
Normal thing.
Nobody else would do that. Do you understand?
And what's the difference between 85 being the year you chose to leave,
or the year you got here, or the year you chose to leave?
What's the difference,
I think you're really splitting hairs. That's the kind of dick he is, though. Someone asked him that, he'd just try to be disagreeable and then give the same exact answer, pretty much.
Contrary fuck. Yeah.
It's not the year I was liberated. It's the year I chose to leave. That's why I use it.
It's the same goddamn thing.
Sir.
You son of a bitch.
He has a rough start to his early career. 85-86 Detroit here. He is the team is 17-57-6. Ooh. Bad. Yeah. Fifth in the Norris division that year. Not too good at all. This year, let's see the little of their they have Yzerman, obviously, is a rookie. They have Probert there also. So, yeah, there's some a decent young core here, actually, of players that they'll have for a while. That'll be in the league for a while as well. It takes him a while to adjust, apparently. First of all, he doesn't speak English, like, at all.
That's not good.
So that's rough. Mm-hmm. No one on the Red Wings, they didn't even hire, like, a translator. Mm-hmm. I think they'd hire a guy to be like, for all that money you invested, throw somebody $30,000 a year to be his shadow and tell you what the fuck he says.
But in Detroit, those arrogant Americans probably just think he's French-Canadian.
Yeah, he'll pick it up.
They're screaming French in his face.
He's going to pick it up.
I said poutine!
Yeah, he knows. He knows. They fucking know. Don't worry about it.
He gets it.
He gets it.
Have a cigarette.
He's a fucking liar.
French fuck.
Look at him. Look at him.
Goddamn frog.
Fucking perverts. All of them. All of them.
Czech, you bunch of jerks.
Yeah, jerks. So no one speaks Czech. He said later on, quote, it was a big problem. I can't learn English in 2 months, but on the ice we understand each other. He said that he had, like, at the time he was always carrying around a Czech to English dictionary.
Oh, God damn it.
Trying to tell, search through it, trying to find, that sounds awful.
It does.
That sounds terrible. Think about that, doing that as a life.
He ordered the wrong thing a bunch of times.
No, yeah. A guy that he makes a friend named Ivan Toth, who's a Czech immigrant, and they found another Czech immigrant.
That's helpful.
Who works as a construction project manager for Little Caesars Pizza.
That's not positive.
Which, Little Caesars Pizza, that's who he finds to hang out because he speaks Czech. So they're buddies. He's like, I think, what is he, 40? He's 48 at the time, too. So he's more than twice Peter's age.
This old man that he builds pizza shacks, like cheap.
Builds shitty. He stands back and goes, terrible pizza will be made here someday with pride.
That guy and a guy that plays for the Red Wings are hanging
someday.
out.
Yep, that's their buddies. Well, apparently the Little Caesars Pizza was owned by the owner of the Red Wings.
Okay.
Same company, so he's like, I know a guy who speaks Czech. I know another guy who speaks Czech. My construction project guy who builds all my shit. Tell you what, why don't you do that?
I want to see that movie.
These two hang. Well, Ivan Toth ends up basically being hired to accompany Peter on the road and hang out with him.
Unbelievable.
So this like old Czech man and Petr Klima, 21-year-old kid hanging out together on the road must have really been quite the fun odd couple here. So yeah, he did that for his first few trips, tried to get a translator a little bit for him, and Klima also moved in with Toth's family in Birmingham, Michigan.
Wow.
So yeah, even like for a little while,
that's a nice area.
Yeah, just to get acclimated to the whole, just that they could kind of give him a little estuary as far as, it's America, but there's Czech here.
Right.
The food you're used to, will tell you how to do things and shit like that. So, he'd been in the United States for 18 years, and he had 4 children, this Toth, including a 21-year-old son, which is Peter's age. So then Mark and his name is Mark, the 21-year-old son, and him and Peter become good friends. So there you go. And
MRK.
Just MRK. No, he uses an A. He's like, hey, we're American now. It's MRK. He knew where they were coming 3 years later. He says, Toth says, quote, I deal with Peter almost like I do my own son. Peter is a very nice kid. And right after that, though, Peter ends up purchasing a house on 3 acres of land in Birmingham, and he's going to get his own place. On the road, he rooms with a goalie named Greg Stefan, I don't know. The goalie here says, Greg, he says he's learning a lot of English. He's done quite well. Hockey-wise, he's adapted quite well. He's been quite an asset to our team. I like the word quite. I'm going to use that in every sentence I fucking utter, because he did in that one. We get it.
Yeah.
He might...
It's his favorite word.
He just said, that means that that's like his press word. No, it's going quite well. And quite means,
right.
Sort of. It's not a superlative.
No.
It's
not too much hyperbole. It doesn't go too far.
Yep.
Just quite.
That's right. So he had trouble adjusting to the NHL as well. In Europe, apparently, from what I read here, in 1985, defensemen didn't hold forwards as much as they did in the NFL and NHL. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a lot of holding and not a lot of physicality, guys. There was a little more space on the ice kind of a thing. And Europeans play a faster-paced game. Not as much checking, hitting.
Right.
Not as much of that shit. More like an open style.
That's why there's more scores.
More scoring was faster, yeah. They just say it's just a faster game. So in his first 6 games with the Red Wings, he only had 1 goal, which he scored in the first game of the season. So he wasn't doing very well. They sat him out for a game. He sat next to assistant coach Colin Campbell in the press box there, and he said, quote, they wrote in the papers in Detroit that it was an educational move for me. No, it didn't help me to sit out. Just the contrary, it made it worse. Yeah. So go up there and talk to him and see the game from above, and maybe that'll help you a little more to see what people are doing. Almost like watching film during the game type of deal.
With no skates on, obviously.
Just hanging out. Yeah, just watching. So, then he got a little bit better. He scored 5 goals and 4 assists in an 8-game stretch.
Awesome.
So that was pretty good, and people started to like him because as a crowd, if you're watching as a fan and a regular fan who's not very discerning, you don't even notice if guys fuck off half the time. Right. You see that exciting goal that he scored. That's all that you saw.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're just an average fan, that's all you're going to see. And you're going to go, that guy's awesome. I saw him do this great move.
Keeping your eye on the puck. And if he's got it a lot, you're watching what he's doing.
You didn't see the bunch of times that he fucked off and he was hanging out over there and wasn't supposed to be there and shit like that. That's a different thing. So they started to enjoy him. He was kind of like, he would make fancy moves. He would put the puck, pass between his legs and shit like that. Yeah. He had a little hot dog in him, they were saying the whole time there. And he likes to be stylish and he wants the fans to like him and all that sort of thing. He says, quote, during this period, though, I am not satisfied with the way I've been playing. In my opinion, I am not as good a player as I used to be back home. So he's used to playing better. He says he really doesn't like all the fighting in the NHL.
Well, you're the only one, Peter.
That's the thing. He doesn't. Well,
it's cool.
Wayne Gretzky didn't like it either. Probably, guys like that.
Probably right.
Scorers don't need it, but
Yeah.
it's necessary so they don't get killed.
It's also necessary for fans because I don't want to watch the puck go back and forth across that ice for fucking 50 minutes.
It's the car accident of NASCAR. It's what that is.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing, but it's just, and it's got a real kind of old school thing to it, a hockey fight, because everybody clears out.
Yeah.
The refs let them do it until they go down. They hold each other. Nobody does anything real dirty. You can pull a jersey and you can fucking punch in the face. And that's it. There's no cheese dick moves. Nobody's leg diving anybody. It's just stand here and sock each other in the face until somebody gets punched too much.
It's just rock'em sock'em robots.
Yeah.
And it is one-handed with a
hold with the other hand.
Handful
punch.
of collar.
Yeah.
Both of you have it.
Yeah, otherwise you get away.
It's a respect thing. You nod to each other, you got the fucking collar, and you start swinging.
Well, I assume that holds them both up, too. Because otherwise,
probably.
if you hit, it's going to push you on the skates. So you're probably holding, so you're both...
Right.
It's like mutually assured, like I hold you and you punch, we punch each other.
I pull you to my fist, you pull me to yours.
It's a weird thing, but it makes sense because in hockey, we've talked about it, like Probert, the reason why a Petr Klima could operate is because a guy like Bob Probert, if you take a cheap shot at a pussy like Klima, Bob Probert will beat the living shit out of you and the next time he sees you.
Yeah.
He's going to take a cheap shot at you and then fight you for it, too, on top of that. He's going to hit you in the back of the fucking head, something cheap, and then when you throw your gloves off, he's going to pound you. That's why enforcers... Wayne Gretzky always had an enforcer around him. They always. If you had a Gretzky, you go, well, fuck, who are we going to get to protect him? Because they'll just kill him if we don't have somebody who people are scared of. You don't have a Marty McSorley out there who's willing to take a stick to somebody's head. Then, your scorer is going to get murdered.
What a game.
It's a crazy fucking game, man.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles...
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So, he says, quote, the basic difference between European hockey and the NHL is that the NHL is more forceful. What don't I like about the game? The fights. The fighting shouldn't be there. It doesn't belong in hockey. In Europe, we don't fight as much. Most people here want to see fights and not hockey.
I'm going to say the most arrogant American thing ever. Go the fuck back.
Why don't you go back where you came from, where people just skate around all fancy and
go skate fast.
Why don't you make figure eights and triple axles and shit before you score? Why don't you? You don't like a fight.
The fuck out.
Trying to play a sport, you don't like somebody punching you in the mouth while you're doing it? Pussy.
I don't want to watch a fast-paced horse shit.
No. Oh, my God. That's fucking funny. Jesus Christ.
Sounds terrible.
He also says, quote, I'm afraid to fly. I comfort myself by saying that it can't fall.
Okay.
But it can.
No.
That's the thing.
Oh, boy, can it.
That's the only way it can be dangerous.
Rapid speed.
That's the only time it's dangerous, really, is if it falls.
Right.
Otherwise, if you stay in the air and then land when you want to, I think those are both good.
Yeah.
And that means it worked. Those are the symptoms.
It is super heavy. I'll tell you that
big.
right now.
I don't know how it flies.
That is one of the heaviest things I've ever seen. Get in the air. That's incredible.
When you see that, it's like when you see a boat and you're like, how does that float?
Right.
How does that stay in the air?
That doesn't make sense.
Well, good thing I'm not smart enough to know why it does, because I would worry about it if I did. I just go, smart people must know why.
Right.
Do my thing.
Somebody's paid very well to make this happen.
No shit. So he right away becomes a douchebag also. He has black hair, but he frosts a bunch of it blonde.
Oh, no.
He's got blonde, frosty hair.
You mean gold. Because black
Kinda,
never goes
it doesn't go blonde. It's kind of that weird harvest gold.
Yeah.
Like a 70s kitchen appliance.
It's not good.
Not terrific at all. He said that, he always wanted to do that. He also, they were saying like he'd wear a bunch of fashionable shit. Like he was trying to be real fashionable, wearing like bracelets that like young people wore. His favorite movie is Rambo.
Okay.
Once he got here, because he loves Sylvester Stallone.
Of
course he does.
Because they speak about the same amount of English.
He's the only one that speaks more funny than me. We both need the subtitle. That's I like. It's good. Both of us.
They both have English Rosetta Stone.
Same thing. I think he probably speaks better than Stallone, I would assume.
Probably.
Because if you teach him the words, he can get them out. Whereas Stallone, he knows the words.
He just says them again.
He just
terribly.
goes, I don't know. Jimmie, I like to play hockey, or we, I dye my hair. It's like a harvest, like a gold, you know what I mean? It's wear these things on my wrists.
Yeah.
It
says, somebody corrects Sylvester Stallone, he goes, yeah, that's what I said.
Jimmie, you still here? You still here? All right, good. I don't know. I thought you left. I heard it. I don't know. It's
Christ, he's annoying.
Paulie.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what's going on.
That's just a character. I didn't realize.
Jimmie, I'm frightened. I'm not gonna lie. I'm frightened. I haven't had a clear thought since like 1972. I don't know what's going on. Look at me. I look like a fucking freak.
And today it's so much worse.
My face is tight. My body's saggy. I don't know what's happening.
People mistake me for Travolta.
They think,
They think Travolta's been lifting weights.
Who? What? You here? Oh, I thought you was Travolta. I don't know what happened. You're not Travolta. Oh.
I've been signing Travolta's headshots for 12 years.
Oh, man. It's weird, except, Olivia Newton-John didn't notice. So, we did it in an event. So he likes Rambo.
I made fucking thoughts.
I tell her about make fuck, She said Travolta never did that, That's how she knew it wasn't him. She said he never was interested, you know what I mean? But I make the fuck, you know what I mean?
They have similar faces.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
So he really likes fast cars.
Uh-huh.
He wanted to get a Corvette.
Oh.
But he settled for a Z28 Camaro at first.
Camaro.
All right. So he's getting himself, he is going to be an American douchebag.
Fuck yeah.
Immediately. What do you think? T-tops on that Z28?
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
bet your fucking ball sack. Every foreigner comes in and looks at Guidos and goes, that.
There it is.
Every single group that comes in for some reason in the late 20th century looked at Guidos and said, that's what I need to be. Yep. Give me it. Exactly that.
I'm going to do whatever my version of that is.
It's so weird. He said, quote, my greatest hobby is cars, but when I look at the papers and see how many accidents there are, it scares me.
Okay.
Especially since you crashed your car in a fucking minute. He loves American shit junk food, he said. He is just, it's like he landed and he was like, I am the Bart Simpson. You know, like, it's like the weirdest, right? No, cowabunga, dude. Yeah. He was like,
candy, fast cars, and frosted tips.
Frosted tips, douchey fucking, yeah, just douchey. He said, in Czechoslovakia, we don't have pizza.
No?
In Russia, pizza eats you. He gave him one of those.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man. Toth there, his hangout buddy translator.
His pizza friend.
His pizza pal there, the builder of the Little Caesars shacks. Would they be huts or shacks at pizza?
It's the same thing.
I don't really want to call it a hut.
You know what? And
specific, but
they might have pizza in Czechoslovakia, but he's meaning fucking Little Caesars.
He means
so no,
pizza.
They don't have that.
No. Well, honestly, then I don't even think they would have had pizza there.
Really?
No.
Wow.
It's not, they didn't have that kind of system. So Toth said, quote, I took him to Pizza Hut once because Little Caesars doesn't have beer. But afterward, he said Little Caesars is better. He also loves Kentucky Fried Chicken, too. He just like shit.
Yeah.
He's going to drive his Z28 with the T-tops down in the middle of the Detroit winter with his frosted tips blowing in the Harvest Gold frosted tips blowing in the winter breeze.
Dropping
with
through KFC drive-thrus.
Fucking stripping a leg of its fried goodness while he puts a Little Caesars on the seat next to him. Hold this, honey. You hold pizza while I eat chicken, okay?
There's so many herbs and spices.
I can't hold. I drive too fast to hold everything. What I do?
Is it 27? Is that how many's in it?
What?
Herbs and spices?
Oh, fuck. I don't remember.
It's so many.
It's a lot of herbs and spices.
It'll make a Czech man's head spin.
I don't know. There's at least Chinese carpet samples or dissidents were murdered. I know that's on there.
I'm sure nutmeg's in it.
I'm positive, yeah. Some sort of cumin. I don't know. So, yeah, he likes shit. Now, Toth says that Klima prefers that he also likes that Toth's wife's home-cooked meals, but he likes American shit food a lot. He also loves pop music, and his favorite artist is Michael Jackson in 1985.
I feel you.
Michael Jackson was kind of like king of the music world in 1985, so everybody kind of liked him. And he also likes, quote, Italian rock stars. I don't know who those are. I don't know.
Does he mean like Madonna?
I think I like Madonna, and I see he doesn't know times. He's like Dion. Very good. It's very good.
Italian rock stars.
I think from actually Italy. Okay. I think he's into like Italian music. He does say he misses his family though, back home, and he misses his girlfriend too. He's riding around with douchey blonde tips. Probably cleaning up in the fucking...
Yeah.
He's doing his wild and crazy guy routine all over town, probably.
Detroit, forget it.
Yeah. He says, quote, in the beginning it was terrible, but now it's a little better. How do you expect a mother to feel when she has raised a son for 20 years? I've talked to them on the phone, and naturally I miss them. Saying, obviously, whatever. And the Toth guy there, he said, quote, I've been here for 18 years, and I still miss my family, too. So, yeah, you're just leaving shit there. December 26th, 1985, so a couple months later, he's reunited with his Czech fiancée.
Oh?
Yep, he gets her back here. She is back. Her name is Irina Zelenik, and she'll stick around.
Really?
Yeah, I guess if those who defect together stay together. One of those things.
And she was the Christmas gift from the team.
Right? Not bad. He's like, and am I allowed to celebrate? Yay. So she's reunited. She says, quote, he didn't say anything when he saw me. He said he didn't have to say anything. I knew. The last time they were together was in August. They were very excited. So he... Oh, by the way, he's been good for the Red Wings since then. This was after his little streak. They were like, he scored some goals. Let's get his fiancée over here. He's doing pretty well. She said, I just want Peter to play good hockey. I hope he scores a lot of goals. He loves playing at home in front of all these people. That's her whole thing. Apparently, what is this? Yes. Quote, I was very impressed by the phone call because before Peter left for Germany, he told me that he'd be back, she said. I started crying when he called. I was wishing that we would come back, that he would come back because it all happened so fast. After the call, I knew that I had to go too. So he just called her up and was like, going to America tonight, so I'll send for you in a couple months. Your whole life will be different. Bye. Click. Huh?
What?
Yeah, that's how it was. It was just out of the blue that happened. So her father, apparently, they were all on vacation, her family was, and so she couldn't defect immediately because her family wasn't there. She said, I at least wanted to say goodbye to my family. Sure. That's why she couldn't go with him. And so, she went to Hungary and then to Austria and then ended up, coming from West Germany to New York. And, she said she was, every day in West Germany was the same. She said the people I was staying with had a little boy, so I would take him to preschool. Then I would go shopping or just go walking, but it was the same thing every day. And she's very excited to, be here, obviously. She said he noticed me in the street and asked me if he could take me home with him. He knew that I lived across the street, but I didn't know that he lived across the street. That's how they met, apparently. They met when he came home on leave for his mother's birthday the year before. So, she ends up being there. And that year, he plays in 74 games, has 32 goals and 24 assists. So a goddamn good rookie year. He's 7th in the rookie of the year voting, the Calder Award. It is rookie of the year shit. He does have 2 hat tricks this year.
Great.
So that's amazing. 3 goals in a game. If you don't know, he 2 different times in March 5th and March 22nd. He had 3 goals in each game. June 1986 is when this is when he buys his house. He's got a big house that he buys now. Sure. He's got a bunch of cars.
Oh, boy.
He's living the American dream.
Oh, boy.
The way he puts it, anyway. He says this is it. Yeah. This is wonderful. And then he starts, there's an article about him discovering the joys of home ownership. He said it was a dream, and then on the July 4th holiday weekend, his water pump broke in his house.
Fuck.
He said, no water for 5 days.
Yeah.
Why? He's got a bunch of cars. He's got the Camaro still, the Z28. He also has a Chrysler Laser for some reason. Remember those 80s Chrysler Lasers?
Tiny little piece of shit.
Yeah, that's her car for Arena. That's a piece of shit, those lasers.
It is.
It was like the lasers were like...
it's the Plymouth version of the Stealth without the wings and shit.
No, the 80s version of a laser, though, is a different thing. The 80s,
it's a little shit box.
It's a little shit box, but it's the Chrysler version of a Dodge...
Isn't it a Daytona? Daytona. That's what it is.
Daytona. That's what it is. Yeah, the Dodge Daytona. Thank you. I couldn't remember the fucking name of the goddamn thing.
It's a little hatch. It's the American version of the Z270. 270Z.
Yeah, they had those. There's a bunch of cars.
Shit Mitsubishi motor in it.
Yeah,
there's a garbage car.
The lasers. It was the same time as all those fucking cars. Now I didn't get into cars of the 80s forever. So anyway,
he's getting American cars though.
All American cars. He also leased a black GMC Jimmie truck.
Why?
I am American now. I drive big truck with Harvest Gold hair. You know.
But in the 80s, it was a tiny, like a S10 or S15 Blazer.
I make fucking your pants between leg. Why? You're doing back of truck now.
He's got a Jimmie.
A Jimmie, yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious, man. He said he went to dinner. Him and his wife went to dinner and to eat, and they fucking came out and the car was gone.
Which one got
stolen? Got the truck.
Oh, okay.
The truck got stolen.
GMC?
Yeah, he says, quote, was gone when we came out of restaurant. We go to police. It was 2 a.m. They say, what can we do? Cars stolen here all the time. In Russia, cars steal you. So they told him it's 2 o'clock in the morning in Detroit, and they're like, all right, your car's stolen. And
we'll do some paperwork.
Unless you were stabbed in the process of it. And I mean like a good stabbing too, not a fucking graze. And I mean like hit a major organ or an artery or something. We're not even going to fill out any paperwork. I'll be honest with you.
We'll keep an eye out. What color was it? We got to go.
Be real honest with you here. If someone parks it in front of the station, we'll give you a call. Other than that, I don't know.
It's Detroit.
It's Detroit.
Don't worry, they can't go far. Our roads are fucked.
Yeah, don't worry. It'll be completely destroyed by the time it's back.
It's airborne by now.
No shit. They did find it 2 days later, completely cleaned out and fucked up and everything. He says, still though, they quote, they feel happy for his family says they feel happy for me. They know I have a good life here. Not even they know I have good life here. I love it. At this point, he's doing during the interview, he's pounding Coors beer.
Yeah.
Pounding Coors beer, says he's glad to be living in America.
So American.
Yeah, that's what they said. He says, quote, I like it. Language hard at first. Now I feel more comfortable. People are friendly. He says, what do you like most about Detroit? And he laughs, and then he says, quote, they steal car here. And he was laughing at that. So he thought that was kind of funny. He likes to drive very, very fast, basically. He hates the speed. He doesn't understand why there's a 55 mile an hour speed limit. He doesn't understand it.
Peter, somebody died. That's why.
He's
a
like,
lot of somebodies.
I don't understand that. So right away, as soon as he gets his license, he's fucking fined for speeding all the time.
Drives like me.
No, he drives as fast as can be to not crash into other cars. So open spot, let's go $120 till we get to some cars. He's a fucking maniac. So he's not used to driving with speed limits or with cars that can go that fast. So yeah, he was fined $60 for one speeding offense.
Steep.
He says, quote, no speed limit in Europe is what he said. So and the guy who's with him, the reporter, says he's weaving in and out of traffic. Like just weaving, like almost stop traffic. He's just weaving through it like a psychopath. He says, in Europe, everybody drive 140, 150 kilometers an hour. Tourists go there. They drive like that, too. It's game. Big race. That sounds like a dangerous game.
Yeah.
People who don't know how to drive come and do it, too. It's great. We all just fucking...
Tourists.
See what happens.
People unfamiliar with these vehicles and definitely unfamiliar with those speeds.
And the roads, too.
Let's do it.
Let's drive real fast. So... He's a fucking just driving like an asshole. So already he's had a bunch of speeding fines. He's been taken in for crashing a car with no license.
Yeah.
A rental, by the way, that he doesn't even fucking own. So not going well so far for him
a problem.
on the legal front. Cars will continue to always be a problem for him. 86-87, the Red Wings are a little better, 34-36-10. They finished second in their division this year. They go to the playoffs. They sweep Chicago in the first round, win a 7-game series over Toronto in the second round, and then lose to Edmonton 4-1 in the conference finals. So they don't get all the way to the cup, but that's a pretty good run for a young player who's new here. January 87, during this run, he's playing like shit, and there's trade rumors for him. Yeah, they're talking about trading him, and the manager here, general manager, says we haven't offered Petr Klima to any club, and his name was only mentioned in the very casual conversations with some of the better teams. They look for the same people all the time. And then the coach, Jacques Demers, says we don't want to trade Petr Klima. So, yeah, they don't want to trade him. They said if we knew we could get one player we thought we needed to help us in the playoffs, we'd make a trade, but that's not going to happen. So we're not going to trade Petr Klima, basically. Not going to do it. So he says, quote, I don't want to trade. I was very happy in the summertime. He said that, what is this? Oh, when Jimmie D said I was, what's the long word that means nobody can touch me? Untouchable.
Yeah.
Because that's what they told him.
You put un in front of the word.
That mean no one can touch me?
What's the word that mean I cannot be touched?
Not between leg. You can touch there if you want. I mean like on contracts, you know.
I'm not touchable. What does that mean?
And so the reporter said untouchable, and he says, yes, that's it, untouchable. Then he says, I like that. That's what he wants.
All right.
And then the coach said, or the general manager said, in order to be an untouchable, you have to be performing. And Peter has had a very, very bad stretch.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying maybe not here. He says, quote, I don't know what happened. 10 goals in 10 games, then 30 games and 6 goals. I can't find out the problem. I hope I start to play better. And they say, Peter, not to worry. This guy's fucking hilarious. Some days you're up, some days you're down. Now I'm on the ground and everybody step on me. This is fucking hilarious. Oh, I love this guy. What an idiot, and I love him already.
A homeless immigrant in New York said the same thing.
Exactly.
Just last week.
To somebody. Everybody step on me.
God damn it.
The coach said he tried to talk several times with Peter, who complains. Peter complains to his teammates that the coach never talks to him, and the coach says, I keep trying to talk to him. He won't talk to me. He says and then Klima ended up complaining about it in the newspapers, and that's when the coach got pissed off. And so, yeah, Peter says, quote, last year they let me play the way I want. I like it. This year is different. It's hard. I never have played defense before. I feel better now. I get more ice time. I take hits, check, back check too. So that's what he's doing. He's He's still just basically totally inconsistent.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking mess. 86-87, he plays in 77 games, 30 goals, 23 assists. So 56 points his rookie year, and then 53 the second year. So pretty consistent at least, but very streaky. They don't like that. Yeah, they'd like some consistency. In March, on March 2nd against Boston, he has a hat trick, though.
Okay.
In a 4-3 game, too. So that's the difference in the game, actually. Yeah. The other two that he had the year before were like in 8-2 games or something, so they didn't even matter.
Right.
But these matter. And he's so popular in Detroit that he gets an endorsement.
Oh?
He gets an endorsement, Jimmy.
Is it Little Caesar?
It is not. It is Werner's Soda.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Werner's.
The ginger ale.
The ginger ale.
It's so good.
I love ginger ale.
Yeah.
I am a fucking ginger ale enthusiast to the fucking max. So,
and you like it with no booze. You're a weird one.
I like ginger ale. Yeah, I don't need
You really
booze in
like,
it.
yeah.
But if you get like if somebody tries to give you like a fucking Johnny Walker Black or something, you throw a little ginger ale in there. It makes it palatable.
Yeah.
Because that shit's terrible. I'm a single malt guy. You can't be throwing that fucking 10-year-old blending shit at me. Fuck out of here with that. I don't drink often, as you know. So if I have a scotch, it's going to be something really nice, and that.
It'll be ice. That's all.
That's it. Yeah, no ginger ale in it. You won't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
So this one, though, Werner's Ginger Ale, which is delicious. Apparently, it's a Detroit company.
Is that right?
Werner's, yeah. It's very popular there, all of their sodas.
It's up there somewhere.
They have different flavors in ginger ale, too.
Yeah?
I've seen, like, orange, I think,
Really?
and shit like that. Yeah.
And cream, something like that?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. You probably have a whole line, I'd imagine.
Probably right.
All the normal stuff.
I've only seen it in the green cans.
Yeah, that's all they have out here.
Yeah.
I know that I've ever seen. I've gotten
never seen it.
It's good.
And it's always in like fucking Trader Joe's or Sprouts or some shit like that.
Or it's in with like the generics where you're like, it's not a generic.
It's not.
No, it's a good one.
Some name brand good shit.
But look for it in the generic section.
Put that next to your whiskey. You'll sell more.
You would?
Get it the fuck out of this Big K bullshit.
He does a commercial on television in Detroit for Werner Soda. It's fucking hilarious. It's like in the locker room. He's got all his pads on. Yeah, he's got his stupid accent, and there's a guy like next to him pitching it.
Unbelievable.
It's pretty fucking amusing.
Yeah.
So he just got a hat trick and then follows that with an endorsement. Awesome. They're paying him to drink soda. That's the American dream. You know what else that is? Grace.
That's Grace as fuck.
That is Grace as fuck. Hardcore Grace. So that's March 87.
Mm-hmm.
He will never fail to follow something good with something terrible. Okay. You have to celebrate something good. In order to do that, you must end up, obviously a celebration will always end up in a disaster.
Yeah.
So May of 1987 here, he is in Birmingham, and he is arrested near his house for drunk driving, and apparently about double the legal limit.
No, it is just ginger ale.
I drink Werner's. Very good. It smell like booze sometime. You want some? I keep it drunk. Very nice. It's good for you.
They
you
tell
drink.
me you put it in Jack Daniels, you can drink more Jack Daniels.
More. Sorry.
Double the limit.
Double the limit or so.
God damn it.
So he pleads guilty to a lesser charge of impaired driving and is placed on probation.
That's nice.
So far, it's all driving. He crashed the car. He's got a bunch of speeding tickets. Drunk driving. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they sit him down and go, Pete.
Yeah.
Shit's different in America with the fucking driving, dude. Like, the States, Europe, you can fuck around driving, apparently. I don't know, at least in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Over here, take a cab.
People
will you?
are a little more jammed together in this area.
Just take a cab. We take that shit more seriously. You see any friends don't let friends drive drunk commercials in Czechoslovakia? No. Here, all the time. So
your friends are driving 120 there, drunk.
Yeah.
Don't do that here.
They'll get mad if they'll pull you over if you're not driving fast enough, shit-faced. So 87-88, the team is 41-28-11. So much better, finishing first in the Norris division this year. So they've gone from, worst to first here. Not too shabby. They win in the first round of the playoffs, 6-game series against Toronto. They beat the St. Louis Blues in a 5-game series in the second round. Conference finals, they play Edmonton again, and again lose a 5-game series to Edmonton.
Got their number.
That was Gretzky's Edmonton Oilers, so that was like Gretzky and Messier, and they were a pretty fucking good squad there for the late 80s, mid to late 80s. So they did dethrone the Islanders on their run of a few championships in a row. That's all I know. I know shit about hockey, so
I know the Red Wings are pretty consistently good.
Now, yeah.
It says Hockey Town on their fucking ice.
They really like it.
They love it.
They love their hockey. They're good sports fans.
They're
there.
almost Canada. May as well be.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half away.
It's across a bridge.
So that year he plays in 78 games, 37 goals, 25 assists for a career high 62 points that year. Not too bad at all. He has 2 hat tricks that year. One in April, well, both in April, the 7th and the 21st of April, in a 6-2 game and a 6-0 game. He has those. May of 1988, he violates team rules, and which are also violations of his probation, as we'll talk about here. He and guess who, Bob Probert.
Yeah.
Him and Probert violate team rules. Are supposed to stay in the hotel. They completely blow that off and instead go out to a bar, cause a huge ruckus, and then miss the team flight the next morning.
Oh, no.
So fucking strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, one night.
Yeah.
And Probert has been in trouble for his alcoholism and his problems, and Klima's coming off a drunk driving arrest and is still on probation. So these two are 2 guys that are supposed to be real clean and, you know, nose is clean, good little boys, stay in the hotel, and instead they are tearing the fucking town up right now. Probert he was supposed to be in recovery at this point too, and he's apparently not. He was one of 6 players that the Red Wings said went out drinking in Edmonton, Alberta, well past curfew on what the coach called the eve of the biggest game of the season.
Oh, Jesus.
So not smart. They had missed a team flight to get there and then did this. I reversed the thing there. Probert said to the press, quote, "Not me. You sure you got the right guy?"
Yes, Bobbert.
You were pretty positive here.
We got you.
Then the Red Wings lost 8-4.
That's not
after
good.
that. So that wasn't great and were eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was the last game of the playoffs.
What?
So you lose the last game of the playoffs, and then you're not allowed to go out. And so the players were found drinking at about 2 a.m., well past curfew there, 3 hours past the curfew, as a matter of fact. An assistant coach, Colin Campbell, and the chief scout found them. Coach Demers said, quote, "I honestly believe we could have won the game and come back for Game 6 in Detroit if only it weren't for 6 idiots." So that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So I said idiot or asshole.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe there's some idiot in him, I guess, according to he knows him better than I do.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe.
Nothing better than when somebody that's not the person is just saying like that guy, like when Manning called his kicker saying our idiot kicker's running a stupid mouth.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of that.
It's fucking hilarious.
And they're right.
They're right.
When
That's
they're
the
fucking
thing.
right.
He is absolutely right.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for 6 idiots, just another week he could have. Even if the series goes 7, then it's over.
Right.
You could be champions.
Right.
You could party all you want. You could have drank out of the Stanley Cup till 2 a.m., you fucking morons.
Instead.
Yeah. Demers, the coach, said, quote, "Bob Probert has been made into a hero in Detroit. He doesn't deserve it one bit. But it wasn't just Probert. How about the others? They're all guilty." He said that Darren Vetch, John Shabbat, Peter Klima, Joey Coker, and Darren Elliott, the backup goalie, were all there.
He wasn't playing anyway.
A couple of them were injured, apparently, but it doesn't matter. They were mad. Klima also denied that he was out, even though the 2 coaches caught them. He goes, "I wasn't there." And they were like, "Oh, so they don't know which 6 players you were?"
Yeah.
Even though they're the coach, you fucking idiots. So that immediately gets him in court, because that drinking anything is a violation of his probation. He's not supposed to be out drinking. So the Judge Sosnick here, extends Klima's probation for driving while impaired for breaking curfew. He says, quote, "The alleged drinking did not involve additional driving. If it had involved driving, he would be in jail, period, and absolutely." Ooh. So the judge is not fucking around with this guy. Mm-hmm. You've barely been here 2 years, and you've already wrecked a fucking car and got a drunk driving and been speeding all over the place.
And you're still drinking.
Stop it. Yeah. So September 1988, he's being a huge pain in the ass. Overall, has to make an apology to the team. He's a star on the team. The crowd loves him, but the team they all want to kick him in the dick.
Sure.
So September 23rd, 88, this was another breaking team rules incident here, and he's suspended for a while, and he misses the start of the 88-89 season before being reinstated. So this is a suspension from the previous year's
Carries over.
Yeah, there was nothing more. The season was over for them. There was nothing to suspend him to. So he finally comes in on November 6th. That's his first game. He offers a heartfelt apology in his first practice back with the team. To the whole team, he says that his behavior's been alcohol related, and he was rooming with Bob Probert,
right.
And Probert's trying to keep his shit under control, and I'm trying to keep my stuff under control, and we both just had a bad night at the same time.
Off the rails. We're sorry.
Sorry about that.
We're so sorry.
Our bad, but it was really Probert's fault. That's kind of what he said. So everything's fine. Hey, you know what? I'm good now.
Incredibly.
That's what he says. It's all good.
All right.
So October 9th, 1988, he's arrested.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he's good now.
Yeah.
They were just about to reinstate him. Like he was coming back in 2 days, the Red Wings. And he's out drinking late on a Saturday night. As he's leaving a bar, I'll find the name of the bar here in a second, not really important.
There is something...
the Jukebox,
of
a
course.
bar in Royal Oak, Michigan.
Yeah. There is something about the notoriety, and it's not even notoriety because that word's about when you do something bad. It's just the fame and the level of recognizability. He knows it's not going to last forever, and he's got to enjoy it now, and he's loving it. He loves being out as a Red Wing and getting the attention that he gets. It's got to be what it is, because otherwise, if you drink and you love drinking, stay the fuck home.
Stay home, take a cab.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to do it. He could have go out, drink all night, and then take a cab home.
Yeah.
No one cares.
But he's celebrating that he's about to be reinstated. That's got to be what it is.
It's the thing, and that's what he always does. Whenever something good's happening, he celebrates, goes over the edge, and gets arrested for it. He's a fucking moron.
Unbelievable.
I don't get this guy. Like, he's really very self-destructive in these ways. Like, it's almost like the worst times possible he gets arrested. It's fucking wild. So anyway, he leaves shit-faced from the Jukebox in Royal Oak at 4 a.m. and backs into some lady's Mercedes.
Oh, no.
With his truck, okay? Bashes into it and fucking speeds away.
Yeah.
Everybody in the parking lot saw him. They saw his license plate. They call the police.
He felt the car and goes, "That's my ass."
Whoops. I'm in trouble. So and especially, too, you hit somebody's Mercedes, especially, too. You didn't hit a fucking, a Geo Metro back then or something. He
didn't hit a laser.
Yeah. Didn't hit your wife's laser here. So they end up stopping him. The police catch up to him and they stop him. His blood alcohol level is 0.156, which is well over the legal limit.
Yeah.
Back then, the legal limit was 0.10.
I'll bet.
That's tipsy.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. A lot of cities, a lot of places now it's 0.6, which is like a beer.
Right.
And then which is too low. And then 0.10 is like 0.6, you could be completely fine and you're 0.6,
right.
Whereas 0.10,
you'll feel it.
You're feeling something. That's a pretty good buzz.
Yeah.
And 0.156 is a real good buzz.
You betcha.
And he's so he gets arrested for that, obviously, operating under the influence of liquor. Fucking idiot. He's only 23, just getting arrested all over the place here. Yeah, backs his car into this lady. The woman, Paula Struzoni, she's 24 years old. She had just left the Jukebox with a friend and basically watched this guy back into her car and drive away.
No, that's the worst.
It was like, boom, go. She was like, oh, fuck, that guy just hit my fucking car.
Hey, that's mine.
Oh, no.
You ever seen somebody hit your car? That sucks, man. Stop.
Very helpless feeling. Nothing you can do.
Watch the man back into my car in a parking garage. You son of... No.
Worse, my mother and I, when I was a kid, we were sitting outside the Grand Union grocery store in Wappingers Falls, New York, and we were hit by the Loop bus while we sat there.
The what?
The Loop bus.
What is that?
It's the fucking Metro bus for City of Poughkeepsie and all that shit around there. So it's a fucking city bus.
It's a goddamn bus.
That while we sat there, it came from around us and just went all the way down the side of my mother's car, took the fucking, side view mirror off and destroyed it. And there was nothing we could do about it. Well, we were in the car and it's just shaking. We're like, oh God, we're being hit by the Loop bus. This is the worst thing ever.
Guy hit my car.
Assume it feels like that.
My car was a 5-year-old black car in Arizona. They're never matching that paint ever.
Oh, that's been faded.
Ever. Yeah.
7 shades by now.
They're going to put a brand new fender on this shit, and it's going to be very obvious.
Very obvious, because right now it's a charcoal gray.
Right.
So,
and I traded that in 2 weeks later.
Probably smart, yeah.
Somebody else deal with that shit.
That's your problem, this
Unbelievable.
mismatched fucking paint. So, obviously this is like the team's starting to be like, okay, this is now like 2 years in a row, and every year you're getting arrested. What are you doing? He says that he doesn't know what his future on the team is. He says a decision of management. It's beyond my control. The coach, Demers, this guy's honest as shit. He's hilarious. He says, I don't understand why Petr Klima would do a thing like that. This is just beyond me. I don't understand what's going on here. There's no question drunk driving should not happen. A lot of people get killed because of drunk driving. I hope he pays a price. So he's fucking pissed at him for it.
Yeah.
He's very mad. He says that he's going to suspend him, and he's going to probably spend time in jail. And he says that doesn't concern him at all, the coach says. He says, quote, he's really created a monster for himself. Talking about Petr. Peter's going to do time now. This time, being a hockey player isn't going to help him. Fuck, man. He is not, doesn't sound like, he is the least silver man we've ever encountered.
Yeah.
I hope they throw the fucking book at him. We've never heard a coach say that before.
With jet black hair.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck
Put
him.
a dinger in a lady's Mercedes and put him in jail.
Jail him forever.
Lock that motherfucker up.
Send him back to Czechoslovakia. Put him in the gulag for this fucking shit. But it is drunk driving. And he sped away, too, which who knows what he would have hit there. He says they talked about, a jail sentence, and the coach said, quote, right now, I don't particularly care. It's in the hands of the law. He broke the law again, and he has to pay the price like anybody else would. Does not give a shit. Klima wouldn't answer any questions about it. He wouldn't answer the press. They were knocking on his door. The whole deal. It's a three counts here, charged with operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, leaving the scene of an accident, and improper backing. Yeah, because you hit somebody. That's pretty improper.
That's what?
You know how you can tell if it's proper or not? If you end up in someone else's car, then it's improper.
That's very funny. That's an interesting charge.
It's so weird.
Improper backing.
Backing. Very weird one. It's the woman here. That's so fucking funny. What happened here? Oh, the woman who claimed. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this part too. When he was pulled over for this, he tried to switch seats with the woman he was with. So she's also charged with interfering with an officer as well.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they all saw him driving, which he tried. He was like, "No, you sit here."
Worse than that, when you pull over is the time that you switch, and by then they've got a spotlight in your car. They see it happen.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And she's like, her seat's all the way back.
Yeah.
She's like 5'3".
Can't even reach the
Pedals her. She's like, no, I've been driving the whole time. He's fucking kissing the windshield over on the passenger side. So also the problem is this threatens his Werner's job as well. Werner's is worried about it. They're like, I don't like this. The advertising agency said it may not renew his contract to do the ads when his deal expires, and the commercials already made featuring Klima will not be aired at this time.
They're gonna cut him.
They might disappear his ass from the ginger ale empire. So
you don't want to be a drunk and a drunk driver when you're advertising for something that
it's a mixer.
So
yeah,
well.
It's a fucking mixer. Yeah, you got to ignore that fact. I like it clean and crisp right out of the can with no alcohol at all. So,
this and cranberry juice, my favorite.
Delicious. I will tell you what. So, December the 3rd, 1988, he is in court, and the same judge, Sosnick, rules that Klima's second arrest on drunk driving charges violates the terms of his probation, and Petr was remorseful. He said, quote, I've had much time to think about what happened. Through all of this, I have learned and I have changed.
Yeah,
He's
believe it.
Good now. Let's just say that. The judge said in his whole sentencing deal, he said, quote, you're no longer a hero to anyone in this situation.
Wow.
I was like, this is not a heroic move here. He said that, for violating terms of his shit and all that sort of thing. He is sentenced. During the sentence, he can only leave, because I'm going to give you a hospital sentence that's in there too. He's only allowed to leave it to fulfill contractual obligations to his team, meaning he can practice and play home games. So his sentence is, you, sir, may fuck off 31 days in Oakland County Jail to be served as following. Okay. 1 day of time served is to go to jail for 1 day, a stay not longer than about 4 hours, basically. So he's just kind of hanging out there. 9 days at a children's hospital, the Children's Hospital of Michigan, working with disadvantaged children, and he'll be able to practice and play home games there. 20 days in jail at the end of the Red Wings season as well. This could be suspended depending on his work at the hospital if he shows up and has a good attitude. Yeah. If it's suspended, he'll work 100 hours community service at the Children's Hospital over 20 days of the next spring. He will lose his driver's license for 6 months, which seems light. Mm-hmm. I'd say 2 years on this.
Yeah.
2 DUIs, 2 years.
And he's 23? He hasn't learned a lesson yet.
Fuck off. Sorry, you're not driving. $200 in court charges and $25 to the probation department. Continued counseling at Henry Ford Hospital, twice-a-week sessions there, reporting to a probation officer, an 8-week alcohol seminar at Farmington Area Advisory Council, no alcohol or drugs, continued use of medication, and he's supposed to take Antabuse every other day to not drink alcohol.
Right.
So they are chemically making him not drink.
They're going hard on it, too.
They're not putting it like it's up to you. We're going to make you take something that'll make you sick if you drink.
Do you think it's because he's not American that they're going so hard on him?
I don't know. I think it's because he's so young.
Maybe.
He just got here and he's still doing this.
Just trying to hammer him hard to make sure he learns?
In 3 years, he wrecked a car, driving recklessly, so many speeding tickets, 2 fucking DUIs, fleeing the scene of an accident, trying to switch. Mm-hmm. It's not like innocent things. That's getting like, hey, you're kind of shitty and you think you're above the law.
Right.
I think that's kind of what it is this guy clearly thinks he's above the law.
It's fascinating that they're not that they're going this hard on him, and they haven't really. I mean, he hasn't
hurt anybody.
Right. Sunny Lane, shit, she's got 9 DUIs. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. I agree. So he says that he's upset about this. He wants to apologize to everybody. He says he wants to apologize to the team, to Irina, his wife, to his teammates, most of all to the public and to his fans. He said, he's learned and changed. And the judge asked him, will it ever happen again? And he says, I do everything I can not to let it happen again. And then the judge gave him the sentence here. The judge said, it would be easy for me to look at you and throw away the key, but you are in a position to do good things as well. You could help people from making similar mistakes, which is true. They said that the children he'll be working with at the Children's Hospital are children and adolescents who have lost their physical abilities, some as a result of drunk drivers. So you're going there.
Fuck.
You're going to help some kid learn how to walk who got fucking crippled by a drunk driver. That's what the judge basically says. Hey, I mean, if you want to get through to him, I guess that's a way to do it.
Man.
He says you can help those people perhaps regain their skills. I want you to see what happens to them. Maybe you can help some people, some younger people and their families. So, I mean, he's trying to get a point across to him anyway.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. So, the whole thing is just crazy. He's an asshole and it's wild. So, he says that later on they talked to the team official about the whole thing, the one who brought him over here, this Lights guy, and he says that he feels bad. He feels like he's let Klima down, basically. He said, quote, he made a heroic decision, as heroic a decision as I've ever seen, by leaving his family, his friends, and his teammates behind to come with us to Detroit to play hockey. We told him we would take care of him. How is that heroic?
I don't know.
He left everybody behind to make a lot of money. Selfishly,
he made the easiest decision of his life.
Yeah, you left everybody behind, but okay. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Anybody would want to get out of there, but it's not heroic, really.
Generally, heroism involves helping
sacrifice.
Yeah, and saving some for the good of somebody else.
Not just Harvest Gold tips and a fucking Z-top, Z2, fucking T-top Z28. Yeah,
so heroic.
It's heroic. It really makes and humble.
So humble.
Those 2 words, perfect for that. He said the red.
He came here to shovel shit food in his face.
That's it. Eating Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The most heroic way.
I have sex between American leg. He says, the Red Wings realize that Peter's actions are totally inappropriate, illegal, and irresponsible, but they are problems we helped create. We are part of the problem, and we hope to be part of the solution. We brought Peter to a hockey-crazy town. We didn't monitor him close enough. We didn't give him proper supervision. We offered him many things, money, the adoration, and the adulation of fans, but we didn't provide him with enough discipline. And this team official said that in court. And he promised the court that the Red Wings would take a more active role in his rehabilitation, including providing a counselor and making sure that he follows everything to a T.
That's impressive.
Basically, they'll oversee what the judge just said. They'll make sure he does it. He later said this team official said that he thought the judge's sentence was appropriate and very well thought out. He said that Klima will benefit greatly from his time at Children's Hospital. He said, if you've got a heart, that's a tough place to go, and Peter has a big heart. So we'll see. During all of this, in the end, he said to the judge, his last words to him were, quote, "I will never sit behind the wheel again after I've been drinking, not even in my driveway."
Okay.
Never going to happen. I'm good now. Good.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So December 6th through the 14th, he lives at Children's Hospital. Yeah. He's got to stay there. He lives there, does that. December 16th, he's allowed to finally plead guilty, since he completed that part, to a lesser charge of drunken driving. He pleads guilty to leaving the scene of an accident, improper backing, all that shit. They dropped the improper backing charge. Mighty nice of them there.
That's
so
kind. Yeah.
He says the toughest part is losing his license. That's the hardest part. He loves to drive. Mm-hmm. So a Red Wings official said, quote, "That's going to kill him." It's hilarious.
He's got a laser.
Yeah, they said when he first he's got a Chrysler, man. He said when he first got here, one of the things he most looked forward to was buying an American sports car, and he bought a Camaro, and then he recently bought a Trans Am.
Oh,
got himself a Pontiac, boy. It's time. And then Klima said, in May, he said, quote, "I just bought a new truck, a 1988 GMC Jimmie 4x4, 4.3-liter engine. Lots of power. I am flying on highway now." That's what he said right before he got arrested. Yeah. He said that in early May. "I am flying on highway now." And then, "I am flying into parked cars and driving away and making women switch seats with me now." So no driving for him. 1988-89, the Red Wings are 34-34-12. They lose in the first round of the playoffs. He plays in 51 games, has 25 goals, 16 assists, so not too bad. Here, he also is sent down. He starts out in Adirondack for a while. I don't know what happened there. I think this was during his whole jail shit here. February 6th, he's sentenced to 2 days in jail rather than the 2 months. Mm-hmm. And he serves his term immediately on a couple of days off. He's also ordered to pay $400 fine and $150 in court costs. And he's given an 18-month probation and 48 hours of community service. Fucking guy. He's got a lot. Yeah. He's got a lot to do. He's very busy though. Yeah. He's got a lot of community service and meetings and anti-abuse and
balance it.
He's going to be very busy with alcohol related activities and hockey.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on, and in less than 4 short years, he really has made a disaster of what could have been something great for him. He really has fucked it up good. So, I mean, it's a mess, man. At one point, he's out there, and he's got his anti-abuse, and he took it, and he doesn't know. He's just sitting around. He's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck, man? This isn't what I thought it was. I want to fly on the highway.
Right.
I want to drink. I want to party.
This doesn't get me high at all.
Oh, I want to bleach my tips. I want to fucking put a Swatch watch on and a hypercolor shirt and get out there and boogie. You know what I mean? That's all I want to do. And then fly on the highway.
Yeah.
And I can't. He was just pondering just everything. He's sitting there pondering, and out of nowhere, he hears dogs barking. He hears dogs barking, and he turns around, and you know who it is? It's Bobby Colorado, animal trainer from Fredericksburg, Texas. And he says, "How is it you come to arrive here? What the fuck is wrong with you? What do? You come here. Is it you lonely? Is that your problem? Tell you what, you came over here. They brought you they imported you a woman. Do you understand how fucking difficult? They imported you a human being that you wanted.
Nobody's ever been that sweet to me.
No. And I noticed, too, you don't say, oh, bring my mother over here. She's older. She's this, that. Oh, bring my brother. No, you say, hey, bring my fuck toy over here, huh?
Girlfriend.
Why don't you do that? You ain't even married to this fucking bride. Anyway, I'm not going to say that. Let's just say You want to go out, you want to party, you want love, you want affection. I'll tell you what'll give you love and affection.
Yeah.
A fucking dog.
Get yourself a goddamn
Get
dog.
yourself a goddamn dog. You put him in the front seat.
Yeah.
You switch places, the cop will believe he was driving. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll believe it a little bit easier. I don't know, but you need a fucking dog more than anybody I've ever seen because you apparently something's missing from inside your soul, my friend. And here it is. Poof. And in a poof of dog shit and marinara sauce, he's gone.
Yeah.
And Peter's, you want to talk confused. Why? Who? I don't.
Right.
You have the dog man talk about things that happen to you. Offer a dog, tell you bad. Where he come from?
This ant abuse is nuts.
Oh boy, side effects so much.
Is that shit a pill?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's a pill.
right?
Probably. Back then,
not
who
a
knows?
drink.
No, it's a shot.
Sure, it's not a drink.
Like a polio
Doing shots of
vaccine.
ant abuse.
Oof. Throwing it back. Give me another one. Line them up. No. Line them up. So, March 1989, Bob Probert gets busted with coke at the airport, which was a big deal because they were like kind of running partners.
Poor bastard.
Petr Klima said, quote, I was so surprised when I hear this morning I started shaking.
Oh?
He says, I like that guy. I feel bad for him, and I feel bad for the guys in this room. Feels very bad for Bob Probert getting busted for coke. I like him. I feel bad for him. He's, he says other people said they feel bad for Bobby. One guy, the left wing said, quote, I feel bad for Bobby, even though it's not like it wasn't his fault. You feel sorry for him, but he's had his chances, and he's got to realize that for himself. I never expected that this could happen. We knew he drank and all of that, but we never had any idea of this sort of thing. So, as we talked about in the Bob Probert episode, he was a fucking menace.
He was a mess.
Yeah, so May 14th, 1989, he and some other players are trying to give advice to other players that are defecting. Because this is still, the wall hasn't fallen yet. I think it's Alexander McGillney is coming over, and they're talking about him, and it's so fucking funny because they're telling him about, they're using Petr Klima as like a cautionary tale. They're like, you got to be careful when you come over here. You could end up like Petr Klima and just go crazy and go full Rambo in the first 2 years you're here.
Right.
You can't go full Rambo, you know what I mean? The one guy's advice was, quote, never forget where you came from. A lot of people, this is to McGillney, a lot of people come over here, do well, and forget where they came from. They start playing the role and doing stupid things. Never forget how it felt to be on the bottom. Where he came from was the bottom. Guys like Klima, he's my friend, but a few years ago he was nobody, and now he's getting a second chance and he abused it. So that's what it is. He said that when Klima first came to Detroit, that he was what he called a, quote, a kid in a candy store. Yeah. He was just taking it all in as much as he wanted. He immediately wanted to drive a fast car, have a big house. He says all of a sudden they have money in their hands and they want everything. He said they're in a free country and they almost want to be too free. You have to keep an eye on them and slow them down. Yeah, this is like, sometimes when kids, when you repress them, then you send them to college and they're like, right. They go fucking crazy because they're finally out of the clutches.
And they ruin everything.
Yeah. If John Lithgow from Footloose is your dad, you're going to go fucking dance with Kevin Bacon eventually. It's going to happen. You're going to freak the fuck out because nobody can live like that. And that's what they do. They come over here and freak the fuck out. So May 25th, 1989, Peter is doing community service. He's doing service at the youth club in Royal Oak, Michigan as part of his sentence. And he's talking to the kids there, and he promised them, quote, promise them never to drink and drive again. He said, kids, I promise you I will not let you down. I am good now.
Yeah.
4 days later.
Yeah.
4 days later, May 29th, 1989, he's arrested again.
Just this one time.
Just except for 4 days from now. This weekend, I'm really going to party. But then after that, clean and sober. So he is driving his truck, as he's not supposed to, at all, on Long Lake Road in Bloomfield Township, where an officer, Randy Oliver, said he clocked him going 57 in a 40 and went to pull him over and said, oh, boy, you're a little stinky, aren't you, sir? Pulled his ass out of the car, breathalyzed him at a .17.
Oh, no.
Which, again...
the highest score yet.
The highest score. He's like, I'm improving. I've had more goals this year than last year and a higher breathalyzer. Look at me.
He blew an all-time high.
All-time high. Yay. Peter. Look at you.
What a dipshit.
Coming through in the clutch. When you have to blow that breathalyzer, he came through with the high score. That's what I mean. He's a clutch player.
Doing almost 20 over the limit.
This is, in a big truck that he's not supposed to be driving. Shit-faced. It gets better. Mm-hmm. So there's another officer there that pulls up while they're giving him the breathalyzer and everything. So as they're doing this, they tell him that, you fucking failed that miserably. Yeah. That was really bad. And we're going to cuff you now and all that shit. So he goes, all right. And, they put his hands behind his back and they go to cuff him. He's being real cool the whole time. I guess he didn't, just quiet, being normal. As they go to take their cuffs out, he fucking runs away. He runs away down the road, okay?
He's going to try to get to Czechoslovakia.
Down the road into a field.
God damn it.
With 2 cops chasing behind him going, stop now, stop now.
Yeah.
And he's fucking booking, zigzagging, trying to lose them and shit. Just running like a fucking, they said he was waving his arms like a crazy person, just
Yeah.
Like he was escaping a communist country.
Awesome.
So they chased him for over 150 yards before they finally fucking caught him. He got tired and they finally tackled his ass.
God, blowing that drunk can run away from you.
150 yards is, dude, a football field's 100 yards. Right. An entire football field. That's far. Another fucking half a football field it took to catch this guy. That's how far. He was planning on, he was in for the long haul.
Yeah.
He was going to keep running. Eventually, they finally tackled his ass, and then he tried to fucking squirm away and everything. He didn't even give up then. So they had to fucking wrestle his hands behind his... I guess he thought if he got away, then he wasn't drunk. What's the thought here?
If you don't have me, you can't convict me.
Yeah, they knew who he was. It wasn't like they pulled him over and he ran away right away and were like, who's that man? He had done his paperwork already. He was fucking done. They called it in. It's over.
Awesome.
He's a fucking idiot. So that's the escape charge is going to be the most serious charge on here because it's not great because he was technically in custody at the time and he escaped. So the allegation will be that he was informed he was under arrest, submitted to the arrest, and then the quote is broke away and quote took flight, which makes it sound like
I'm flying.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
That makes it sound like he was drunk. They tried to cuff him, and then he literally soared from the ground, which would be, why did you need your car to begin with?
Right.
Which is amazing. So, yeah. So he's arrested for resisting, obstructing a police officer operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol, all sorts of shit. There's a bunch of shit here.
He loves booze.
Escape from lawful custody, driving with a suspended license. Yeah, he loves it to his own fucking, yeah. Oh, so then they put him in jail.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I guess they went to his house for something on May 25th, which is 4 days beforehand when he was making that speech.
Yeah.
During that time, he's also now arraigned on a different charge that happened where he is on one charge of maintaining a vicious dog in connection with somebody getting bit on May 25th at his house. So he keeps 2 Great Danes and a German Shepherd in his yard there, and apparently one of them attacked somebody.
He talked him into it.
There you go. See? Hey, I told you got to be nice to these fucking dogs and teach them how to be with people.
Right.
You see any of my dogs biting? I got 14 on a leash right here. Now one of them bit you.
It's the owner, not the breed.
They don't even pull, these fuck. I got 14 of them. They could pull me down the street. They don't even pull. Then I have to I go over here, and they just make a turn. There it is. So, the general manager of the Red Wings said, quote, "It's really a personal matter. He has to deal with his personal problems, and that's the gist of it. He's got to decide how he wants to handle his personal life. We have nothing to do with him, basically." Us. Yeah. In court, he appeared disheveled and near tears, everybody said. His hair was fucked up and uncombed. His jeans were wrinkled and his shirt was twisted. And he looked like he just ran 150 yards and was wrestled down in a field by 2 cops is what he looks like. It's like leaves in his hair and shit. Not great. So, the resisting arrest charge is punishable by 2 years in jail and $1,000 fine. Also, the driving under the influence is punishable by a year in jail because it's a second offense, and escaping lawful custody, which could result in 1 year in jail and a $500 fine. Mm-hmm. So, not terrific. Also, he could get a 90-day jail term for his revoked license driving. So, if they were to ridiculously, bang him concurrent in consecutive sentences and everything, he's looking at almost, over 4 years at this point. So that's not wonderful. May 31st, 1989 in the Detroit Free Press. His coach, again, getting not silver with the press.
Giving him hell.
He says, Peter right now has to deal with his problems. He said, we're realizing today that we have a young man with big problems and that he has to deal with those problems before he can decide to play hockey. So he said, the judge in the case said, quote, I do not know what it will take to get the defendant to stop his unlawful behavior. Death, yeah. I don't know what it will take. He can't take away his license. June 89, his future with Detroit is unclear. The general manager said, let's put this thing to bed right now. Peter Klima has a personal problem that he has to address. Other people have to decide his fate before I do.
Yeah.
So it's like, let him get sentenced first. He said, I don't want this thing dragging on and on for weeks on end the way the Bob Probert situation dragged on. I will let matters take their course. We'll let the law decide and we'll take it from there. There's no way I can say Klima is through with the Red Wings, as some people are trying to get me to say. Running the hockey club is a business, and Peter Klima is a valued commodity. Nobody will ever say it's a perfect world. No shit, man. So, yeah, Probert's awaiting trial, federal drug charge trial. Klima can't be let out of your sight for 2 seconds or he'll get shit-faced and crash into something and run away.
Red Wings are in trouble.
They're in trouble. He ends up doing 35 days in jail for probation violation here.
Wow.
So you, sir, may fuck off. Actually, to jail for 35 days he does.
Jesus.
Which is, they want to make some sort of example. Mm-hmm. He has to go to rehab, do an inpatient deal. October 5th, 89, he's doing Alcoholics Anonymous too. He's doing that. They have a press at the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, which is weird, to document it.
That seems
supposed to be very private.
Opposite.
But all the people there, I guess, agreed to it ahead of time that it was okay to document, and they wouldn't use last names and shit like that. But yeah, there was a woman there. It was her first time, and Peter tells her, quote, I remember my first meeting like this. It was in jail, so you're doing pretty good. This isn't jail.
You came here on your own recognizance?
This is of your own volition.
That's amazing. Good for you.
Yeah, I had to do it in jail.
The judge told me I have to.
Yeah, this is I know I have to be here. I'll get put right in jail if I don't. He said about the meetings, the first meeting in jail, he said, I just looked around and said, you people are crazy. But I went again the next day and the next, and I started to hear things that matched my things. Then I started to listen. He says he plans on attending regular meetings even after he satisfies the judges. He said it's going to be a part of his new life.
Good, because
you need
crazy.
It. You're a fucking nut.
If they're crazy, you're crazy.
He said, if I want to stay sober, I have to come. I need to listen, especially to the older people, because all of my years are in front of me. I haven't killed anybody when I drink and drive yet. My fiance hasn't left me yet, and I haven't lost my job yet. So smart.
Yeah.
He says that in jail he felt like shame. It was all shame. He said, I felt so bad. I was embarrassed. Look at me. See how I'm doing in America? Mm-hmm. Look at me. I come all the way to America and I'm sitting in fucking jail. He says that he's an alcoholic. And by the way, a lot of people in the press, there was Mitch Albom, who's a famous sports reporter, has this article just fucking torching Peter Klima.
Really?
I'm talking torching him and saying, now people are going to say that he's an alcoholic when we know he's not. He's just a fucking idiot and he's a drunk and he's a moron. But he's diagnosed, he's not an alcoholic. I think he might be an alcoholic. I'm just saying.
Peter said so.
I mean, I feel like if you're doing things, this is the definition of being an alcoholic, is doing things repeatedly detrimental to yourself and not quitting alcohol, not realizing that's the problem. That's what they ask you when you're trying to figure out if you're an alcoholic. Do you do this? Do you do that?
Are you a functioning alcoholic, or is it like ruining your fucking life?
That's the big one.
Yeah.
If it fucks up things like that, well, yeah. If you lose your job, suspended from your job, get put in jail and aren't allowed to drive, you probably have a fucking problem.
Sounds like that author probably has a few drinks from time to time.
Yeah.
He might be a functioning one.
That's what I just thought that was really of that era. That era was the era of if someone said they were going to rehab, you roll your eyes.
Right.
Because the celebrities had started going to rehab. So I was like, oh, he's going to rehab. That means he's fine now. Okay, whatever, I'm sure. That's just a way to, whenever anybody has problems, people at first understand about it. And then if it persists for more than a day, people are like, oh, fucking everybody's this and that.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's a thing now, you fucking moron. We know about it now, so it's obviously going to be more.
Happens to be a problem,
dummy.
For them.
Yeah. Fucking, I hate people. So Anyway,
it's just it's not a thing unless it happens to them. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's
it is
closed-minded people living in a bubble that refuse to admit that there's a whole fucking world that that exists outside of you.
Yeah, it's just certain people, and it's a lot of different people in every aspect of It's the Dick Cheney isn't for gay marriage, and he's like, "Well, my daughter's a lesbian. You know what? Let me rethink this gay marriage thing." I mean, all my other views will stay conservative, but that one thing, because it affects someone I love personally, then it's a different story. So that's how a lot of people are, though. Yeah. It's not. I'm not talking politics, that's why I used a non-political example. Just happened to be a person who was in politics, but yeah. So he, it is political. I guess. Anyway.
Very political.
It is. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't
be.
So
stupid to think about it like that. Yeah. So Peter says, some days I ask myself, why did this happen to me? Well, because you drank a lot. He says, why? Sometimes I'm so embarrassed. Everybody knows me, knows about this. I'm bad famous, he says. That's bad famous. Hold on, writing that down. Name of this episode is Bad Famous, without a fucking doubt.
There's a lot of people that are bad famous.
That's amazing. I'm bad famous. He said that's the best.
That's called infamous.
He says, I'm embarrassed. Everybody know this about me. I'm bad famous. And I gave the Red Wings a bad name. I'm sorry for that. It's hard to accept what happened. Sometimes I just wish it was a nightmare, a bad nightmare. But every morning I wake up and it's there, waiting to get me again. He says that... He said, after last season, I started drinking again. I wanted to stop. I know I was still on probation, but I said no. Beer was my best friend.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Beer's his best friend. And he's
famous as the immigrant can't speak the English notorious. That's what that is.
That's exactly. I'm bad famous.
Immigrant notorious.
Yeah. He said that drinking helped him acclimate when he got here, because the guys go out and drink. So that was the way he'd go out and drink with the guys, and he drank anyway, but it really became a crutch because that's what he could have in common with people. And he said it got much worse and worse and worse. He says, for 2 years I fooled people. I just didn't want to tell them my problems. And then in jail, he was just sitting in there, and he said, in jail, I looked around and thought, what am I doing here? Am I stupid or what? Either I'm stupid or I'm having big problems, a disease. So, I have a disease one way or the other, either stupidity or alcoholism, one or the other. He says, I'm working on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous now. I believe in the 12 steps. It has worked for others. Why not for me? I feel better physically, and mentally I feel a lot stronger than before. When you're hiding something from somebody, you never feel good. And he says that he and his fiancée plan their days around his meetings. He goes to at least 3 a week. He said, one thing I learned, I don't have to please anybody. I only have to please myself. I don't want to play the game anymore when I say, hey, look at me. I'm doing fine, just fine. And now I know that if I don't change, I only fool myself. The only person who gets burned is myself, that only I can control the problem. So, yeah, and people are the team's hearing good things about him and everything like that. And Peter's teammates, though, are a little skeptical about the whole thing. They say, quote, as much as I hate to say it, I really think he's figured it out this time. That's what one of them says. Much as I hate to say it.
What does that mean?
Much as I can't stand the guy, I think he might be okay now. His roommate on the road said, quote, just give him a chance. He'll be all right. Once he convinces himself, he'll start convincing other people. And I think he's starting to do that. So there's that. So this whole this turnaround here of him actually taking responsibility and recognizes it, I'm kind of shocked about it. I am. I'm surprised. And it's shocking, a little bit, but not as shocking as the sales, Jimmy.
Yes.
The sales are the most shocking. Head down to Cosen's Big and Tall.
Where is that?
In Michigan. For a bunch of really ugly late 80s clothing. We have a sweater.
Oh, that sweater is fantastic.
With a big V thing on it. It is fucking hideous. Looks like Dan Marley's wearing it, too.
It's a big cardigan. Jesus.
It says the visual impact of black and white is further dramatized by rich leather in this sensational sweater. Oh, that's a leather V.
It's not even a cardigan. That's a pullover.
That's a pullover.
That's god awful.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Of exacting craftsmanship with leather accents. Sweaters don't need leather. No. To provide the extra dash to savor all seasons, $75. Leather bomber jacket, just a plain jacket, supple buttersoft leather, Sergio Valente, $289 there. Look at this guy. Yeah. He's like Fucking got his fist up. That's what I'm talking about.
It looks like a country club door.
Marvelous crew neck sweater. Yeah. Marvelous. $39. And then a black diamond cashmere coat.
A pullover with a fist pump. That's crazy.
He's like, what's up? With a plaid button down on under
the
it.
Collar coming out and everything.
$198 on sale, the cashmere coat.
Lord.
Don't forget about another bomber jacket here.
Yeah.
This is a brown one, this distressed leather. This is more of like a pilot jacket. $269. And then the pace setter, a top performer. Designed exclusively for Cousins, plush velour jogging suit.
Jesus Christ.
Just the right size, just the right speed with 2X tall all the way up to whatever, $98.
The pace setter, the walker.
The pace setter. Setting the pace. And then I found some electronics that are just amazing at Murphy's Video with like a whole console TV that goes on the floor like a piece of furniture for $615.
And that meant that weight also.
$475 for a VCR.
Jesus.
Shit was expensive in the 80s.
You believe that
That's
shit?
fucking crazy. So 89-90 season, November 2nd, 89, he's traded to Edmonton for a bunch of people who we've never heard of, so it doesn't matter. So he's traded to Edmonton here. And he said that he's kind of was happy to go because he said, quote, "This was a long time ago, but I did stupid things. And after I got traded to Edmonton, I could turn my life around. I think I had my best years there." And basically his wife told him stay sober or she's going to fucking leave him. And that was it, basically. He was, he said, new start. He said he was a loner, though, on the team. He wasn't really, just very quiet. Now that he's not a drinker, he's not sociable really anymore. Right. Now he's like quiet.
In a shell.
Yeah. One of his teammates said, Peter was not a bad person to talk with, to get along with. Then there were times at the rink where he'd do something and you just shake your head. He's a happy-go-lucky guy, but there's times when you have to work and it just didn't happen. He's not a good worker. Like I said, he just flakes out. And he says, I play the way I think I do my job best. If somebody thinks I'm taking it easy, well, that's the way I am. This is how I played all my life in Europe and growing up. I come here and tell people, and people tell me I have to change this and change that. I tell them I got here because of how I play in Europe.
Yeah.
In Russia, hockey play you. So the Oilers this year, they win the Stanley Cup.
He's a champion.
So he's a goddamn champion.
Unbelievable.
They beat the Bruins in 5 to win the Stanley Cup. Grant Fuhr's on this team playing goalie. This is a lot of people on this team. It's a pretty stacked squad here. And Jeff Bukaboom, there's your enforcer on that squad. I was looking for the enforcer. There's one. So lots of good players on this team. He this year he plays 63 games for the Oilers. 25 goals, 28 assists. Makes $150,000 this year too. In court, August 3rd, 1990. He pleads guilty to all 4 charges stemming from his last drunk driving where he ran away and all that. He pleads guilty to everything there, sentencing later. 90-91, he's again with the Oilers. They go to the conference finals that year. He has 40 goals this year. So this is that's the big, where you want to be. 40 goals is like a 300 season, I guess. So that's a big deal for him. He hits 40 goals, 28 assists. So 68 points in 70 games is pretty fucking good. Yeah. He has 4 hat tricks this year.
See what happens when you're sober?
Wild, right? Fucking sober and not old enough to be out of his prime yet.
Right.
He has one in January, one in February, one in March, and one in May. I think the one in May was a playoff game, too. So not too fucking shabby here. $214,250. 91-92. They get swept by the Blackhawks in the conference finals. He has 21 goals in 57 games, so kind of a down season that year from 40 to 21. He doesn't quite fit in. Still, one of the players said later on, in the mindset of the group that we had here, Peter was a little bit different. Him putting up with us and us putting up with him, well, it resulted in some good moments. I just don't know what's in Peter's heart. Guys like that are like artists or something, absolute enigmas. You can't figure them out, so you don't try. Being around guys like that, you learn about patience. So that's on the ice, even when he's playing well, they're still annoyed with him. $261,900 this year. 92-93, still with Edmonton. He has 32 goals in 68 games, not bad. $248,000 he makes that year. That's even
fantastic.
Better. May 1993. This is wild. A 23-year-old Inuit hunter a hunter who happens to be Inuit, not a man who hunts Inuits.
Okay.
He had to make that clear.
Yeah.
And he also is a soapstone carver named Isaac Sala, makes a fucking Peter soapstone carving.
What?
And I'll show it to you.
His favorite player.
Here it is.
What? Oh, it's so bad.
It's just this fucking, it's bad. And Peter's looking at it like he's going to fuck it.
That's me.
I fucking your pants now. That's what he looks like.
Good for him, though. Nobody's ever soapstoned me.
No, this guy, now they will. Maybe you will. Anybody soapstone us, damn it. So, he was there. This Sala guy said, I wanted to try to carve out one of the hockey players. I asked my friend, which is the best hockey player in Edmonton? He said number 85, Petr Klima. So that's what he did. He did the whole thing, gave it to him. Petr Klima got it. They put it in an art gallery, apparently.
Wow.
It's on sale. He visited the gallery to see the carving, and he says, quote, it's a real honor. The first time I heard about it, I was excited. But he didn't want to pay the $565 to buy it. So he didn't.
It seems a smidge overpriced.
A little bit overpriced. June 16th, 1993, he's traded to Tampa. A month later, after this guy carves this whole fucking thing out of soapstone, he's fucking not even there anymore.
Yeah.
So, oops. I hope he sold it before that, because it isn't worth shit now.
Is this the expansion Lightning?
I think a couple years into their expansion team here. They said this is a very positive step for us to be competitive this year. So they've been there a minute. Yeah, they're just trying to.
They're terrible.
Yeah, they're an expansion, a longer team here. So Peter says that if handled properly, it should be fine. They said that they think he should calm down. He's now gotten married and he's had a daughter now. Mm-hmm. He has some sons that we'll talk about as well. So they said, quote, you can probably describe Peter in 100 different ways. He has talent to burn, unlimited potential. I just found it very frustrating on the nights that he didn't always show up to play.
Yeah.
That's his old team there. So, I mean, you feel bad for them. I feel bad for his wife, this woman. They got her from Czechoslovakia and she comes over here. She's like, you're fucking blowing it. Stop.
Right.
This is good for us. Stop fucking this up. We have money. Don't do this. And he could have killed people. And then all the teammates that have had to deal with him. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as I feel for PETRs too.
Stop it.
I wouldn't even take a Peter
That's
with an E.
Unbelievable.
No, Petr Klima, alternative medicine professional in Orange County, California.
You know what his alternative medicine is? Fucking booze.
Booze. That's him. See, Petr Klima, director at 2010 Enterprise, LLC, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Petr Klima, owner of Zabora SRO. He's a lawyer in the Czech Republic. Look at that. Petr Klima, co-founder CSO Breadway by Imperial Food Services in Prague, in the Czech Republic. Petr Klima, team lead at Oracle in Kitchener, Canada.
Yeah.
And Petr Klima, quote, active student looking for challenges in the Czech Republic.
Okay.
So there you go. I think Petr Klima, our guy, is an active student looking for challenges.
Yeah.
93-94, he's in Tampa again. Let's see here. He's in Tampa that year, makes $700,000.
There you go.
Has a good year, 28 goals, 27 assists. Next year, 94-95, he's in Tampa. We'll buzz through the Tampa, who cares?
Yeah.
13 goals, 13 assists in 47 games. He had an injury that year as well. And there was a lockout this year.
Oh.
So he goes to play in Europe during the lockout. He ends up playing for some Czech Republic team there. Makes $428,000 because of the lockout. It's prorated.
Sure.
95-96 there. He is in Tampa again. Makes $800,000. Has 22 goals and 30 assists. So now he's starting to have more assists than goals.
Yeah.
Playing a different game. August 22nd, 96. He's traded to Los Angeles by Tampa Bay for a draft pick. And then October 25th, 1996, he's traded to Pittsburgh by Los Angeles. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
He's getting traded all around here. And then Pittsburgh, he has a problem with. They end up sending him down. He gets along with nobody in Pittsburgh. Yeah. He later would say, quote, if Pittsburgh was the only team in the world to play hockey with, I wouldn't go. I would rather work in a car wash. They treated me like I was some guy from the minors, like I was just up from the East Coast Hockey League or something. So he hates Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. He says that they ended up buying out his contract.
Really?
They offered him a buyout for $835,000, and he said, I took the buyout, so I'm free. He said, in L.A., there was no problem, nothing. They were going with different players. In Pittsburgh, well, I never really got a chance. So February 26, 97, he signed as a free agent by Edmonton. So back there. 1997, he has twin boys.
Oh, boy.
Twin boys.
Oh, no.
You know what their names are?
No.
They're not bad.
No.
Well, then they're not Peter. So no juniors. Kevin and Kelly.
Okay.
Double Ks here. I don't know why, but whatever.
It happens.
$835,000 he makes that year. So 97, 98, he doesn't play in the NHL. He's like kind of in Europe a little bit. He's plays for Kriegfeld Penguin in Germany. 98, 99, he's waiting for a job. Nobody's called him yet. He says, I don't have a lot of answers. There's a lot of guys out there who've got 15 points in 50 games. I thought I was on a good track, but I'm still sitting here. I know I can play. I just want to go to a team where I can play my game. I don't want to go to a team just to win the Stanley Cup. I want to work at it. I just want a chance. And he's like, I don't need to be a great team. I just want to go somewhere. And so January 11th, 1999, the Detroit Red Wings signed him again. So they're going to try him here for, kind of finish out his career here. This year, what does he do here? He only plays in 13 games, and he has 1 goal.
Ooh.
So that's that. So his career is over. In 13 years in the league, he played in 786 games, 313 goals, 260 assists. Pretty good career.
Not
bad. No fighting, tell you that much.
No.
So 2001 through 2003, he goes to play in the Czech Republic before he's done playing hockey for good, finally. But he plays, has a good year, too. 52 games, 24 goals, 10 assists in the 1 year, so not bad. 2015, his twin sons, Kevin and Kelly, sign. They're with the Springfield Junior Blues.
What?
They're trying to get exposure here, they want to go to be drafted by the NHL, basically. Peter's kind of their coach. Kevin, the kid, says, quote, hockey's always been a huge part of our lives. Obviously, he said he has always encouraged us, but we love the sport anyway. We've just stuck with it. And so they were on the London Knights of the Ontario Hockey League, and now they're on the Junior Blues. And the coach says, quote, the Klimas are trying to be pros. Bottom line, their dad was a pro. He says, quote, he asked if I had any interest in bringing the boys here just to get them more ice time and experience. We talked as a staff, and we figured anytime we can get players of their skill ability, along with that playing at this level for several months, we had to take a shot at it. So there they are. They're playing, getting more ice time. And they said Peter was here that first weekend, and he's been to a few of our road games. We were in Sault Ste. Marie one night, and we just weren't scoring. I said to Peter, hey, you want to come in the locker room here and tell our guys how to score some goals? And he said he just laughed, but anytime the kids can talk to a dad that has that kind of NHL experience, it's a plus. So they were talking about they were going to send them to Springfield the next season. And Kevin says, we've never heard of Springfield before this. We've heard of Abe Lincoln a little bit. So that's that.
Okay.
So June 2017, his boys get sent to Oilers developmental camp, which is what he wants. They play for Edmonton. And so he's pretty excited. He says, quote, I want them to just go there as 2 players, not somebody whose dad played there. You know what I mean? Just show their stuff, how they play. Just leave the last name here in Michigan. So, by the way, he is the only Klima ever to play in the NHL.
No kidding.
Yeah, if his kids make it, they'll be the second and third Klimas to ever play in the NHL.
It's impossible to leave that name in fucking Michigan then when you're the only one that's done this.
He just said, don't act like you're a big shot because I'm your dad, basically. One of his kids ended up having a bad injury the 1 year, but then he made it all the way back out, which is good. And what has happened? Zamboni? Oh, yeah, never mind. So... I guess he broke his spine.
Jeez.
His son. Peter said, quote, scary. He was crashing the net, and the defenseman pushed him and twisted him, so he went backwards into the boards. It was at the end where the Zamboni goes out, and the crack of the door was sticking out.
Fuck.
And that's where he broke his spine.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. But he said that he's okay. He recovered.
Sweet Jesus.
He said, you try to give them some pointers, but they have to chase their own hockey career. I cannot chase it for them. They've had their ups and downs like everybody else. They just have to stick with it. You can help them when they're down, pat them on the back when they're up, but they have to have their own careers. Then in 2017, when they're out playing hockey, I found, this is not reported in any newspapers or anything, I found this doing background searches. Peter was arrested again in 2017.
For what?
For breaking and entering, entry with intent, entry without and breaking with intent, and then assault and battery as well on the same day.
Of who?
Don't know. All I have is the arrest records, but I don't have the reports or how it happened because it wasn't reported anywhere. So this just, all I know is it happened in Michigan. In August of 2017, a breaking and entering, an assault and battery. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but that is, he went, 27 years without getting in trouble, and then that's a pretty big fucking jump back into the mix there.
He got a hat trick of DUIs, then he runs this game.
No shit. So 2019, his twin sons sign a 1-year contract with the Tucson Roadrunners.
No shit.
I think you find that interesting. Yeah. So they're here. So Peter may be wandering around the desert. So if he is, we're not afraid of him. Fuck him. He didn't want to fight anybody in the NHL anyway. So can't get enough of Peter. I found on GameWornAuctions.net you can find I got a 93-94 Petr Klima Tampa Bay Lightning game worn jersey.
Ooh.
Fucking $389 though.
That seems steep.
It's a little steep for a fucking Tampa Bay jersey.
That's where he did his best though, didn't he? Like made the most money.
Well, they're Edmonton.
Yeah.
But everybody remembers him for Detroit.
Right.
He's just one of those guys. He sticks in the Detroit memory bank. I don't know why. That's how I thought of him too. And his name Klima. I was like, oh, Detroit, yeah. And it was. So that is Petr Klima. That is how you escape from behind the Iron Curtain to come over here and fuck up way worse than you would have anywhere else. There it is, everybody.
Leave the Iron Curtain for the Steel Reserve.
Yup. That's where he is. Is that what we call Detroit now?
Yeah.
The Steel Reserve? That's the city and the beer. So if you enjoyed that, tell us about it. Tell the world about it. Get on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. It helps us out tremendously, helps drive us up the charts. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com right now for everything crime and sports, small town murder, and it's not on the site, but also listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie.
Yeah.
Check it out. If you haven't listened to Small Town Murder yet, you are missing out, so check that out immediately. If you want to follow the show, very easy to do that. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Twitter, and if you want to become a Patreon donor and really one of our producers, saving our lives, you can do that very easily, and we're going to give you stuff for it. We don't just want to take, we want to give too.
Right.
We want at least an even trade, but
we
want
to earn it.
We want you to feel like, wow, I got a great deal. So we do that. We put out bonus episodes every other week of both shows. Last week it was the plane ride from hell, the WWE wrestlers running amok on an airplane all the way from Europe. Open bar, Ric Flair with his dick out, people almost opening the fucking exit door at 30,000 feet because they're fighting. Insanity. Check that out. And also the small town murder one was haunted houses and haunted small town shit throughout America. So that's pretty fun too. You can find all of that and way more. We'll have lots of good stuff for you all the way to forever.
Right.
You'll find that at patreon.com/crime and sports. Plus, Jimmie's going to mispronounce your name. So
absolutely.
I say you get everything there. It's a pretty good deal. It's anybody above the $5 level gets access to both shows, bonus stuff. And on top of that, if you just want to be a good person, have some nice karma, and also have your name mispronounced brutally, of course, by Jimmie, especially if you're Italian, you can go to PayPal, use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, which is also a good way to get a hold of the show. Yeah. That said, God damn it, Jimmie, I need to hear a list of the people who would never run away while we tried to handcuff them for drunken driving. Jimmie, hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Danielle with no last name, Tyler Nymiller, I think that's right, Gavin Zamiello, yep.
Hey, nice.
Bert 1094 might be his address, I don't know.
Maybe.
Ashley with no last name, Carrie Gage, Drew Bittner, nope, what is that? What did I do? Bittner? I think, God damn it, Bettiner?
Wow.
I'm a terrible.
We're fourth, we're like 5 names in.
I write so terrible. Chantel George, Brianne Solou, I think, Katie Howell, nope, that's Haley, or Hale. Kip Sousley, Sarah Schumer, Tyron with no last name, David Meisner, Nicole and Ashley Thompson, Austin Ford, Kelsey Hebert is sticking around.
Hey,
Thanks, Kelsey.
Good
Remember
to see
when
you.
we got her super
I got her.
stoned? You
yeah,
did.
Really. I felt
she
bad.
Wandered the city.
I feel bad. She just disappeared and wandered off into the Chicago streets that night. But
Sam Halflin, Madison Lilly, Shauna Rogers, John Sardo, Michael Dietrich, Aaron Sinkovich, Elizabeth Wolfinger, Jordan Bennett, of course, and Donnie Keene. Thank you guys so much. We can't do it without you. Other producers this week are Terry Money, Antonio Menezes. I don't know. That's a tough one. Taylor Phillips, Adam with no last name, Heather with no last name, D.E. at Bulach. Bulach, is it DE yet? I don't know what I did.
What did you do?
I don't know. Warner Swope, Savannah Showalter, Brendan Boyle, Jessica Durden, Brooke Kemp, Mick Quinn, Elliot Bressler, Deborah Waddell, Joel Van Arsdale, J.D. Bricker, Lucas Folks, Justin List, Zachary Lee, Benjamin Page, not here. Is that right? Damon Smith, Stephanie Donovan, Pat Fox Leonard, what is this? Tenley Wells, Sabine Bechtold, Leah Creeder.
Tough run this week, Jimmy.
It is. Michael Muiz, Lucy Carter, Rohan Bajaj.
Hey.
He donated twice both ways. I think it's Rohan Bajaj.
Yeah, I saw he was laid up or something.
Yeah, he does the hospital stuff because he's got a bad heart.
Yeah, I feel bad for that guy. Thanks for hanging with us, brother.
He's amazing. Appreciate you. Annalise Dupil. I'm sorry, Annalise. I'm so bad at that. Sarah Ostaforoff. What? No. Stephanie Huron and Billy Johnson. Holly Flowers.
Billy Johnson. There, Jimmy can get that
Got
one.
it. Michael Weber or Weber. Samuel. Nope, that's Samuel Ruby. Probably Jack's kid.
I assume it's
Ronnie Kumar. James Roberts. Zach Taylor. With an X. Zach. That's, I think, is that cool?
That'd be Zach's.
It's Z-X-A-C. That's Zach, right?
Not on this planet, no. But thank you for your money.
I can't tell if it's cool
you.
or not.
It's cooler than regular Zach, I guess. Yeah. But it's like, let's take a name like Zach, which is meant to try to be cool, and try to really cool it up.
You're going to rock star this.
Man.
It's probably James Taylor's kid.
Probably. That's why.
Amber with no last name. Nathan Simon. Derek Cooper. Jorge Torres, Andrew Young, Luis Fernandez, Jessica McKinney, Anastasia Bergmeyer, God damn it, Mike Himes, that's Steph Davis, Brian Dixon, Kristen Hecker, Aaron Fifield, Dustin Thornton, John with no last name, Junhee Kim, Jana Ray, Jonathan Head, Sue Tufts, Sam Hune, Andrew Santos, Nicole Winkleseth, what? Wrinkle? I don't know what it is. Stephanie with no last name, Amanda Short, Amy Nicole, that's Sean. Sean Banner. He's sticking around.
Hey,
Thanks,
Sean. What's up? One of the Four Horsemen.
Right. Norel O'Connor, Rowe with no last name, G with no last name, Sean McConnell, I think, Nelson Brandon, Philo Brandino, Paul with no last name, Carly.
What are you talking about?
Carly Boyd, Michael Scott, Pat Bement, Brendan Jones, Chance Ferguson, D-, Sonia Montgomery, Alicia with no last name, Jose Trucero, Tyler Jorgensen. I'm so bad at this. Why am I so? Heather Watson, Alex Ames, Robin Meyer, Nick Porter, Michael White, Shelby with no last name, Michelle Hilson, Mike Rabe, Maureen Moran, what? Justin Henson, Felicia Wiskunis, Leland Davidson, Lizette Talbot, Tanya Garcia, Andrew Moore, Ashley Danforth, Carissa Blancia. What did I do? Justin Elliott Judd, Rachel Dean, Michelle Mazaris, Stephen Faubel, what? Ben Brown, Michael Bright.
What you got there?
Say again? Gus Zazo, Jamie English, yes. Lucas Wayman, Cassie Devine, Georgia with no last name, Kayleen Greninger, Tracy Ainsworth, Nancy McKee, Kate Smith, Blake Dove, Alyssa Judd. You can't do SZCZ. That's not words, right? What is that?
Somebody from Czechoslovakia.
Alyssa
It's nice that the God Bless America lady gave us money. That's very nice. Thank you.
Alicia Haskins, Corey White, Christy Brienne, Amanda Scherer, Heidi Hesse, Dominic Fontani, Katie Rose Morris Cole, Rachel Lamoury, Dominique Jackson, yes, Carl Lively, Lynn Quaubo, Kara Outs, Corn Fieldley, Jim Comiani, yep, Joshua Aheezy, Brian Martin, Daniel Belusi, Danielle, I don't know, I think it's a guy and I'm fucking his name up, I'm sorry. Or I don't know. I'm an asshole.
You're in
is what it is.
A hole tonight.
Nicole Merchant, Zane Hall, Christine Cascella, Martin Knightsbridge, Teresa Brockman,
Catherine Brazzoni, Sarah Vidal, Jamie Barthel, David Kupar, Albert and Avila, Kira Heinrichsen Morgan. Amanda with no last name. Dave with no last name. Lieben Osman, Ryan Poots, Tyler Carter, Sherry Bauer, Sheena Elliott, Ryan Harold, Ana Cusack. Yeah. What? Yeah. Mark Faden, Kevin Blaylock, Mandy Brown. I'm really hitting the brakes. D Web 07, Ayla Indigo, Rob with no last name, Vinny Lester, Brian Leal, Matthew Troy, Glenn.
Okay, new page.
Yep.
Deep breath.
Here we go. Nicole Dainzer.
New day.
Mackenzie Merjachi?
Nope. Same day.
Mersochi. That's what it is.
Nope.
Same day, same time.
Just after lunch now.
Cody with no last name. Bailey Maple. Beck with no last name. Stephanie Diddy. Black in the Day podcast. Kenzie with no last name. Desmond Nelson. Kara with no last name. Brian Lempa. Sarah Adair. Angela Gilmer. Misty Boyd. Thomas Ward. Andrew Battaglini. Heather Peterson, Liz Serwinski, Lauren Ocello, Saranda. Is that Saranda? Lindsay? What? It's got to be the first name last, right? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Phil Irving, Mike Sheehan, Doug Manning, Ellen Medley, Jonathan Hooling, Ashley with no last name, Don Brannon, Khalil Kelly, Kevin Stanley, Tim Pendle, MM, Gun Logger, Gun Porson, what? Daniel Morgan, Mona Pomona, MSCMO, Miss CMO, Simo? No. Are we pronouncing letters now?
County Sheriff's Office? What
CMO.
Oh, I don't know.
Catherine Vasunda, Jesslyn Reinhart, Corrine Ryan, Andrew Betts, Augustus Lerma, Melanie Malign, Mitch Barter, Jacqueline Hewitt, Kendria Jones, Taylor McMorris, Becca Waters, Force of Nature podcast, Margaret Feltner, Brayley, H. There's no last name, just H. That's what that is. Katerina Apolonova, Ann Owens, James Burress, Scarlett Horbeast Jr., Lindsay Shaheen, Anthony Verdeen.
Congratulations, Scarlett Horbeast.
Anthony Verdeen, Chelsea Rumpia. What did I do? Christine Hansen, RJ with no last name, Noreen Jones, Anna Janky, Jahanky. Sarah Romano, Lisa Aerosmith, probably the band's daughter. They all had a daughter. One daughter. They all
one cup.
No.
You never know.
Louise Ord, Yelena, Mike Rabe, C.T. Hamilton, Lucas Russell, Jason Copeland, Daniel Erhard, Charles Cone?
When Steven Tyler came, he went, wow!
Kim JMJ 91, Orion Howard, Julie Magiacombe Carrera, what is this? Nicholas Kirstein, Ben Bird, Robert Milligan, Andrew Hunt, Jamie Damon, Chris Carrazas, it's probably that. Matthew Litz, Maria Herlifson, Homestretch, Nicholas Walchowski, Sanalisui Nintini. That's not right either. Hannah Elliott, Ronnie Kumar, Katarina Nielzolka, Christina, that's Christine Hudson, Cole Hinson, Peyton Meadows, Alicia Stambach, Tracy Apple, DeJamaris. I'm never going to get it right. It doesn't matter. Amanda Knight, Jordan with no last name, Aaron Wilson, Tina Wolf, Suzanne's Townies, Rachel Cascaden, Steve Schnell, thanks Steve, Jeff Salagi, it's Italian.
Yeah, he's going to fuck that up.
Cameron Close, and I'm way off. Matthew Wilkins, Joanne Ahern, happy birthday Jen Armstrong and Aaron Halston.
Happy birthday.
Brendan Abels, Susan Olgis, happy birthday thanks. Tracy Mullet.
Susan and Mullet.
Mashy Blade, Marissa Cole, Lacey's Sweet Creations, Catherine Glancy, Tracy Jacobs, Mark G, Christoph Oliwa, Mindy Schompert, Tracy Ainsworth, Alexander Bowl, Matthew Grazder, Damn near.
Hardly knew.
Right. Jonathan Rice, Alexander Bull, Christina Brayton, Alicia. Nope, that's Alex Fisher. Jimenez, Stacy Kathleen Coomer, Vidar Logue Samuelson, The Suck Up, Marcia McCorkle. Happy birthday to Nia from Joey Pivarnik.
Happy birthday.
He said he loves her, but I could have just said from Joey because there's no Pivarniks, right? How many
Maybe,
other are
somewhere.
there? Hallsfeller TV, Marcia McCorkle, I said that. Tyler Ryan, Viviana, Alex Hopper, Andrea Sobolik, Addison Hendricks, Allison with SZ again. What? Sapansiak?
There you go.
Sapansky.
Yeah, sure.
Michael Johnson, Michael S. Johnson. There's a ton of those. Paul with no last name. Janice Hill, John Helms, Chloe Campbell, Thomas Smith, Carter Harris, Melissa Atheson, James Martyr, Deanna Grimes, and Tuesday Brews Crew, Jude Kendall, and obviously all of our other patron supporters, but also Shelly Aldridge Roberts' birthday is today this week. She's from Gun Barrel, Texas. She sends us all the Gun Barrel shit.
Thank you.
Karina Surdell, Emily and Nick, happy anniversary. Elizabeth Smith, and Clay Thorson and his
Clay.
wife.
Thanks,
Thank
brother,
you both so
for
much.
everything.
You're amazing. Give
Love
the
you
wife
guys.
a big hug and a kiss. It's either their anniversary or it's her birthday, because you know what I did is not write it down.
Perfect.
So thanks, Clay. You're amazing. And all of our patron supporters, you guys are amazing.
Thank you, everybody, so much from the bottom of our hearts. Honestly, we really, really thank you, guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate everything.
We're very grateful for you.
Everything that you do for us. And again, thank you for everybody that hung out with us for that live show. More to come.
Yeah.
We're going to find different funky ways to do that. We're going to do like actual episodes of the real show. We got some plans for you guys. It's going to be fun stuff. So thank you for that. What if people wanted to thank you for anything?
Yeah.
How could they do
You
it,
can
Jimmy?
find me on social media at Whisman Sucks. Where can they find you?
I am at Jimmie P is funny, or just find my name and paste it in there. You'll find me eventually.
We're
so
around.
that said, it's been a fun week through the brain damage blender and through the Iron Curtain.
Is that success or not?
I think so.
I can't decide.
I mean,
he made a lot of money after he fucked
and
up.
then he cleaned himself up.
We think.
No more drunken drive. He stopped driving anyway, which is really all I care about.
Those boys turned 16.
Yeah, I don't care if he fucking passed out drunk every single night.
Yeah.
He didn't get on the road,
Right.
or at least get caught for it. So good for him.
Well, there you go.
I don't know though, but either way, man, that was a wild episode.
Sure was.
Love a foreigner in the States. It's always fun.
Fish out of water story.
Fish out of water. That said, everybody, enjoy. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit,
At the time, I was paranoid.
threats,
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
and murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.